Yo, what is up? Test 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Oh shit, still got my speakers playing. Wait. Alright, there we go. What's going on, everyone? How's it going? Let me just do something real quick. Let me send. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's get this show on the road. So last time we were streaming, which was probably like 2 days ago, we were working on WebRTC and implementing voice and video calls. And the last thing that we did was we were figuring out how we can set up unique peer IDs. And so for the rest of the stream, we're going to just focus on building video calls for our application. Video and voice call is what I should say. Voice and video. So what I'll do is I'll first log into my account and I'll show you what we currently have. So if I go to this peer route, I think it's the right one. Nope, I think it's called calls, I think. Or what did I call it? Look at my code real quick. Might need to be in I need to be in a different branch. There we go. Let's go into app TSX. It should be called calls, yes. So let's refresh. What's going on? Why is that not showing up? WebRTC peer. What's going on? Why is it not showing the calls? /calls. Do I need to rerun the app or something? Let's see. Let's see. What's going on? ShatMX, Zolify, how are you? Nrio, how are you? Stuntfax, how are you? Devil Service, how are you? What's going on, Vinode? How's everyone going tonight? Hope you all are having a good night so far. Today's Saturday, which is good. I don't know why it's not showing anything. What's going on? Oh, okay, it's throwing an error because of oh, it's because of the account that I created, that's why. Yep, makes sense. Alright. So let me just zoom out a little bit so that way it's easier for me to see the code. And let me go ahead and do this. So let me go. I gotta log into a new account, actually. I forgot that I needed to log into a new account, so let's just do this real quick. Whoops. Any online course to learn web development just like you? I'd recommend Free Code Camp or Code Academy. I'm doing good, Zolify. How are you? When you do use state for peer, why do you add peer? It's just basically because use state is generic and that allows you to type annotate your state, so that way TypeScript knows what data type peer itself is. You don't need to do that, but it just makes it ambiguous. So that's why I did that. Okay, so the last thing that I showed you guys was I showed you guys how we could get calls to work. And what I did on the last stream was I opened up the application and I actually went on my phone and I called myself via video. And for those who saw that, you can see that we had my own video as well as the remote video. And so if you guys want, I can give you guys a quick little demo real quick just to show you how this works. It'll be very quick. So let me just go into my... Do you guys want to see a quick demo real quick of how the video chat works? I can definitely very easily show you if you guys want. What's up, Diggs? How are you? Diggs, Unique Key, how are you? Why you aren't upgrading your Discord API bot library? Why would I? That project is dead. and it has been for over a year. I don't have any reason to update that because Deno is pretty much I don't know. I'll probably make a new one though. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Before I show you guys, meanwhile, make sure you guys hit that like button real quick. If you guys haven't already, make sure you drop that like button. I'm going to be streaming for a very long time today, so make sure you guys hit that like button. If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it a lot. All right, let me just open up my terminal real quick. I'm using WebRTC, Purejs. So yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you have not already, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's see. So I'm right now I'm on my server right now. So if you hear typing, it's because I am on my server and I obviously cannot show you those things. But let me just go ahead and turn it on real quick. Okay, PM2 start. All right, so my application should be up. All right, cool. The application is up. All right, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just log into my account. Hopefully, I have no issues. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let me just go on my phone real quick and log in. I'm going to log in from my phone. Give me 1 second. Let me also just create a new account as well. So the app is up, by the way. If you guys want to test it out, you guys can definitely test it out. You guys can definitely test it out if you guys want. Alright, so give me 1 second. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how this is going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do, give me 1 second, okay? I just need to do this. So sorry about that. Just bear with me real quick, just be patient, and currently the setup is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. I'll just show you how it works. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and paste in this. Oh wait, this is localhost. All right, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna paste in this value, and now it's gonna ask me if I want to use my camera and my mic. So I'm gonna click allow. Okay. Actually, wait, I gotta connect again. Okay. Let's see. Whoops, sorry about that. I think I might need to redo the skins. Whoops. Let me refresh. Okay, I'm going to do it from my phone. So I'm going to copy this ID and I'm going to paste it in there. Okay. All right, now watch this. So on my phone, it's going to say allow. Is it working? Try again. Wait. Okay, I don't know why it's... Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. So you can see this is my... So on the left... Let me just mute my shit real quick. Okay. Wait, let me just do this. Mute. Okay. The audio was actually coming from my phone, so you can see my hand is right over here, and this you can see my left hand is right over here, my right hand is right over here, right? So but right now this is the video coming from my phone, so this is my phone right over here, my phone, and on the left hand side this is my video, okay? That's the video coming from my computer. That's my webcam right over there, and so I was able to create a peer-to-peer connection between the two users, okay? And so I was able to basically call the other user. Now on my phone, for some reason on the phone, I cannot see the video, and it's likely because of the browser that I'm using on my phone, because I only have it working for one specific type of browser, but we haven't gotten it to work for the other browsers yet. That'll be fixed, of course. But you can see that right over here, I can see the other user. Now I can unmute myself, and you can't. I don't think I can really hear myself from the other user. But watch this. So you can see my hand. So let me. So right now the audio is coming from. Well, you guys can't really hear. Let me unmute audio output capture so you guys can hear the audio. All right. So right now you can hear myself twice. The audio is coming from my phone. Okay, the audio is coming from my phone. Let's see, and you can see. Let me do one more thing. Let me see. Okay, so now you cannot hear myself twice because I just muted myself from my phone. Okay. And now if I do unmute myself, you can hear me again. And I can also turn off my video. So I just turned off the video. And I can turn on the video again. And I can also, let's see, what else can I do? I can, let's see. I'm trying to see, where is that? Turn off video, turn on, muted myself. There we go. So it works pretty well. It works pretty well. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see. You don't hear me twice? It should sound kind of echoey. You should be able to hear me twice. Or, that's interesting. Oh, you guys don't hear me twice. Interesting. Okay, well, it's not really a huge deal right now. But, yeah. Let me go ahead and close this out. Alright, cool. So just disconnected. Obviously, it's still a work in progress, but hopefully that shows you guys how this is working. Okay, now if you guys want, what I encourage you to do is if you guys want, and the reason why, let's see. So right now, what we are doing is we're obviously changing this, right? We're making it so that you can only, right now we're using a UUID, and this is only for testing purposes only, right? But what you can do is you can take this UUID, you can take someone else's UUID, you can paste it in here, and you click connect, and they'll be able to connect with them. Okay? So, yeah, that's pretty much what I would recommend. Now, if there's someone here that wants to, like, volunteer, like, I'd be more than happy to test this out with someone else if one of you guys want to volunteer. Otherwise, I'll just continue working on this. Because right now, it automatically accepts the call, which is not good, obviously. That's kind of, like, very invasive. Which means that anyone can literally send you the connection, like, send you the peer ID. And they can literally just paste it in and they just call you and they'll automatically accept it. Granted that you do give permission to the website to use your microphone and your camera. So that's obviously not good, so we have to obviously fix that. So today, that's the whole purpose of this video, of the stream today. We're going to be primarily working on that throughout the entire stream. But if there's someone here that wants to volunteer, I'd be more than happy to, you know, we can set up a quick call real quick on this app if you want to test it out. But if not, that's also fine as well. Let's see. Would you plan adding video setting, for example, decrease video for microphone? Probably will. Can multiple users enter video conversation? Well, I mean, this is currently a work in progress, so even if I can't really answer that question because it's still like a work in progress right now. Let's see. All right, let me close this out. All right, I'm going to turn the app off right now for the meantime. I'll turn it back on later, don't worry. But for now, I'll just turn it off. So, let's see. What I'm going to do, let me also mute my desktop audio as well because I want to play some music in the background while I am working on this. Okay. Let's see. All right, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and what we need to do is we need to finish setting up the backend because I actually didn't get a chance to finish because I kind of ended the stream the other day. But what we need to do is basically whenever the user creates an account, we need to generate this peer instance. So this peer is basically just going to give a unique ID for the user, and this is going to be the unique ID that the user will be able to use to connect to the other peer. Okay, we'll probably will need to encrypt this because obviously if the user creates a new peer, that's not really going to be good. So, or maybe what we might do is maybe every single time the user logs in, we'll probably regenerate a peer that way to make it a lot more safe. Maybe we'll do something like that. But for now, this should be more than enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to need to create this peer instance whenever the user creates an account, because this is going to be a unique ID that the user is going to need, because that's how we're going to identify the peer that we want to connect to. Okay, so we're going to this. We'll go into auth. We'll do auth. Let's see. Let me try this real quick, because you know what's funny is I actually disabled strict mode in React because that was actually causing our application to render twice. And because that was happening, I was able to it was giving us a username taken issue, which is a huge problem, right? Because if you try to connect to the peer server twice, it's going to tell you that issue, because obviously you cannot have more than one peer with the same username. So it's giving you that issue. But I think if I actually disable strict mode, that error was going to go away, because I'm pretty sure it uses different tokens for each user. And I think what was happening was it was using the same token with the same username twice. So it was a huge problem, you know? It was a huge problem. Are you going to add email verification? Not right now. Not right now. That's not really a priority to do right now. And to add that, it will take like 2 seconds anyways. I'd like to test it, but unfortunately, I can't do it right now. Will you add mobile design? At some point, yes, but right now, it's currently not in the works right now. Well, I mean, we have responsiveness for the chat. Like, for example, if you resize it right over here, you can click on a conversation and you'll be able to see the entire chat. But it's still a work in progress, so we didn't really put too much time into that right now. Anyways, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and fix up our whole thing. So what we need to do is this. We need to make it so that way we can actually call the user instead of like obviously pasting in their UUID, because that obviously is not good. So I think what I'll do is this. We'll definitely need some buttons. Let me go and look for. Let's do React. I'm gonna go into React. I'm gonna look for React icons, and we're gonna look for some cool buttons real quick. So let's do this. Let's see. And we also want to make it only so that you can call your friends. Obviously, we don't want to make it so that you can call whoever you want. Okay. So let me go into Figma real quick. I don't really know what design I want to do, to be honest with you. So I might just do, honestly, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. I think what I'll do is I'll probably just, let me just copy this. And then what I'll do is maybe, I'll probably render all of the friends on this sidebar. So maybe all their names and all of their let me do this. Copy this right over here. Put this down here. What type what type of ORM did you use? I use type ORM. Is it fine if I make a PR? Depends on what exactly. If it's a entirely new feature, I am not going to accept any PRs from that at the moment. But if it's like a serious bug that you found that you can do that you can fix it, then sure. But I'm not really accepting any PRs at the moment. Not because I don't want to, it's because I want to like make this project stable first before we actually, because it is open source, but it's not really, you know, it's not really like, you know, open source, if that makes sense. Like, it's open source in the sense that I am making the code publicly available for educational purposes, but I'm not really, you know, looking to collaborate with anyone right now. But once the project becomes stable, yeah, I'll be more than happy to accept pull requests from people. Because obviously, we're going to move on from this project at some point. Because I don't know if you guys saw my announcement from 2 days ago. Basically, once we finish the video and voice chat feature, I'm going to move on to an entirely new project, but it'll integrate with Chua Chat. So we're going to create a money transfer app using the Stripe API. And if you guys have used Facebook before, if you guys have used Facebook before, Facebook has something called Facebook Pay. And Facebook Pay pretty much allows you to pay other users, right? That's their own payment. I think Facebook Pay is its own payment processing. So I don't think they use anything else like PayPal or Stripe. I don't think they should, anyways, because they're like a big company. So if you think about it like this, right? Facebook itself has their own payment processor. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create our own product called Chua Pay, and what we'll do is we'll basically connect Chua Pay with Chua Chat, so people can send money through the chat, right? I mean, and obviously they're not going to send their credit card details through Chua Chat. Everything is going to be done through Stripe, so it's not like it's going to be insecure, anyways. So we're going to be following, obviously, like PII restrictions, right? So if you guys are interested in that, definitely look into that stream, because that application, we're going to be working on that probably around the first week of October. That's when I plan on working on it. So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning about how Stripe works, definitely make sure you guys like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the bell notification, because we're going to be working on that project probably around the first week of October. So you guys will be learning a lot about that. Okay, so let's see. Right, I'm not really too sure how I want to do this right now, but I definitely think I'm going to separate calls and conversations page, for now at least, because I really just want to finish this, honestly. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just create a 50 by, I guess 60 by 60. We'll give it some border radius, and let's just give this plugin, let's just give it the avatar plugin, and we'll just change up the avatar a little bit. Let's do one more. Whoops. I'll just call this Mike Garfield. Okay, and I guess what we'll do is this will be like all of our friends, so we're gonna render all the users friends, and I'll just add like 2 buttons. So let's do plugins, Conify, and we'll do, let's do maybe this call, and let's just zoom that up a little bit. So we'll do maybe call. We'll add the let's add a couple more icons. Let's do Iconify, video. So I want to do video and just regular voice, I guess. So I think actually I'll change the icon to maybe video. Let's do mic. Okay. This is 2424. Let's change this to 2424 as well. Hello, I start today a new project, and next you inspire me. Nice. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. I don't really like this icon, to be honest with you, so I'll probably just change this up a little bit. Video. I really wish I don't know why there aren't that great videos or great icons for video, which is kind of sucks, honestly, but it's fine. Yeah, I'll just use this for now. Let's do that. All right. I just don't like how this is, so we'll just leave it like this for now. Not a huge deal. Okay. And so the user will be able to either do voice or video call. And yeah, so that should be pretty much it. So let's just group this all together. I'm really just looking for something really simple, honestly. I don't really care much about how it looks. I'm just really aiming for something simple right now. So this will do the trick for now. Okay, so if they do video, that will do both voice and video. If they do just voice, it'll only do video itself. And that's a very easy thing that we can handle on the UI itself. So let me just do this. Just group everything together. Okay. And let me just do friends. All right, cool. Let's just assume that. Let's just do this real quick. And let's just change this from plugins to, let's do avatars. Groups are not supported. Select another element. Oh. Okay, and we'll just change this to Jenny P. Something simple, obviously. Let's do Ryan. Okay, this is what it could look like. And when you call the user, we'll probably do like a video element over here. So when you call, I guess what we'll do is while you're calling the user, let me just do this real quick. So as you're calling the user, as you're waiting for them to pick up, as soon as they pick up, we'll obviously display, you know, the user's video. But let's just censor this right over here. And then what we'll do is, as you are waiting, right, we'll display like the user's camera right over here. We'll give it some nice border radius. So let's do 10, and we'll just say, you know, the user's username. So let's do Anson U. Yeah, let's just change the font size to maybe 18. Okay. Doesn't really matter too much, like I said. And then I think maybe another thing that we could do is we could probably display the controls down over here. So let's go over here. You know what? I really want to change. I'm going to change the icon from a microphone to a call button. So don't worry, I'll change the icons later. But because the microphone should really, we should really use a different icon for a microphone. So let's do microphone. Let's do this. I think we could use Akar icons for this. So we can do microphone on and then microphone. We need one for on and off, but I think Akar icons only has one for on. So let's do microphone BX. Yeah, I think we'll just use BX. So let's do that. So we want microphone and we want video off. And let's see. Does box icons have does have video off? Okay. Let's see if box icons has video only. Yep, perfect. So we'll have dynamic icons. So let's just select all 4, change the color to white. And what we'll do is we'll kind of make these like floating action buttons. So let me just move this out real quick. And so let's do this. Let's just create button. Maybe 48 would be fine. Actually, let's do 60. Let's do this. Let's do 65. Let's see, 65. And then what I'll do is I'll give it some border radius. Let's do 50. And I'm not really too sure what color I want to make the icons though. Don't really care too much because, like I said, it's just a simple example. So we don't have to be too nitty-gritty with all this stuff. But as long as we have the icon, that's all that matters. Bring to front and change the size of this to 34, 34, and let's just do this. Bam, bam. Group selection, and then we'll also have another icon to hang up the call, of course. So let's do plugins, iconify, hang up, drop call, hang up. This hang up, I guess this is fine. What day are we on? We are on day probably like 24, I think. What is the difference between type and interface? Interface is basically, you typically want to implement interfaces with a class. You can also extend an interface as well, which allows you to inherit all the fields and all the methods. But typically interfaces were primarily used to actually create a contract between a class and an interface. So that way you are basically, saying, I'm going to follow exactly what the interface wants me to do. So you would define, abstract methods, and those abstract methods basically need to be implemented by the class itself. Types, basically, you can use types to create like custom data types. Primarily, like from a surface level, there's really not that many difference, but it really boils down to semantics and how you use them. What are we building today? We're working on our WebRTC video chat. What's going on, Valentine? What Figma plugin is that? Iconify and avatars. Let's see. I really wish that these icon libraries were more consistent. Like, for example, if you have call, it makes sense to have call drop. But for you to have only call and no call drop doesn't really make much sense, to be honest with you. It's like I'd rather just go with a library that has all the icons there, you know what I mean? Let's just do that for now. That should be 3434. Okay. Delete that, move that over here. Bam, bam. Group together, perfect. So we have our floating action icons, okay? And of course, when the user mutes themselves, obviously we'll basically change the icon from video. We'll obviously need to change the icon, okay? Let's just do this. Let's just group this together. It's just group selection. And let me just also make sure that this is centered. And let's just also group these together. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Hello, Valentine sent me there. This channel is very interesting. I am learning a lot so far. Thanks for doing this, Anson. No worries, Choey, and welcome to the stream. How are you? Hero icon is not good. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's not good. It's just that the library that I was using, box icons, it's like, for example, if you have a call icon, right, it would make sense to have the other icons like call drop, for example. Figma got all that. Can you guys hear me? All right, sorry about that. My microphone wire just decided to pull itself. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So, where did you guys last hear me? What did I last say? Where did you guys last hear me? So that way I can like reiterate what I was talking about. Okay, well, if I answer your question, and you didn't hear me, just let me know. Let's see. when you respond to me. Hero icon is not good. Yo, what's going on? Kenny, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's do this video call. Okay, so this is what the screen is going to look like when we're waiting for them. Obviously, you'll see the user's video over here. I don't have a picture. I'll just leave a text over here. Show users video camera. Or not, right? Because obviously maybe they only want to do a voice call. Okay. So what we'll do is over here, we want to show what the call is going to look like for the users. So when they're receiving a call, we want to show to them what it could look like. So obviously the user might not be in this page. They might be somewhere else. So we'll go ahead and just copy a page. We'll just copy like the friends. We'll just copy like a chat page right over here. So let's just do this. Let's just do this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this over here. Bam. Let's do this right over here. And what we'll do is when the user receives a call, we'll have this, we'll have like a random, no random. We'll just have this rectangle displayed in the center. And it'll show the user's profile picture. So let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's get a profile picture, maybe not. Avatars. Let's do this. What the hell is that? Okay. Let's change it to something. Oh, that was the one we used last time. Let's do this one. Or let's do this one. You can use whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. We'll just do this one. So let's change it to maybe a circle. Circle. Nope. There we go. Way better. And we'll just do something like this. And we'll display the username. We'll do Anna's son wants to call you. And let's change the color to maybe something like this. Doesn't really matter too much. But all we just need to do is just show them the indicator that they are receiving a call. Okay. And then we just need to get some icons. Let's do iconify, pickup, call answer. Let's do that. And then we'll want an icon for reject. I guess I'll just use call hang up, I guess. There we go. Jamie, thank you for following my Twitch. I appreciate it. Aussie Hayden, how are you? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Who are you making this bot for? What do you mean bot? This is not a bot. Is this for Discord or for what app? Well, we're just building a chat app right now. And I'm not building it for anyone really but myself. Just for learning purposes only. So let's just change the icons to maybe, we'll do 36 maybe. Let's try 36, 36. So let's do that. 36, there we go. So we'll have, for the call, we'll do, let's also create some squares. Let's do this. Let's just give it a border radius. And I think what I'll do for the icons, maybe what we could do is maybe something like this. Like a dark color maybe. Bring to front. Maybe what I'll do is I'll lighten up this color like that. And I'll lighten up these buttons a little bit. And then we'll change the call button to, or the pickup, I should say, pickup to greenish, something like that. Something greenish, I guess. And we'll do the same thing. So let's do here. Group that together. And then for the reject icon, it'll just be red, like that. Put that together, and then now you can have these two icons. Okay. Let's see. And of course, this text will just wrap. So if their name is obviously too big, we'll just go ahead and fix that. But let me just zoom out a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, not too bad. And of course, if they accept, then we'll have to obviously answer the call for the user. Okay. So this is just a simple, just a really, really simple example of how it could look like. Just move this up a little bit. Move it up. Perfect. How are you designing the UI? I'm using Figma. Jimmy, how's it going? Ibrahim, how are you, man? How do you organize your style components? Do you put them in a single file? Yeah, for the most part I do. I just put them in a file and I just forget about them later on. Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad, not too bad. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know, but it's decent enough for me. Okay, so the moment they accept, what we should do is we should probably navigate them to the calls page. And then we want to display the local stream as well as the user stream. So right now in our code, when I accept, right, let me see. Where is my, there we go, wait, no. Where is the peer page? Okay, so it's right over here. So right now when we receive the call, 1 second. Right now when we receive the call, what we're doing is we are calling get user media to get the user's video and audio, okay? Then we're just doing call answer. So I think what we want to do is we want to make sure that the user is actually redirected to the page when they accept it. So when we do peer on call, well, we also want to make sure that the user is everywhere throughout the entire, we want to make sure the user can actually accept the call everywhere throughout the application. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably create the peer. Maybe I'll store it in like a Redux. Maybe I'll store it in Redux, or I can store it in context. Doesn't really matter. But I can probably store it in a Redux store, and then I can reference it anywhere I want. And I think maybe what we could do is maybe inside the app page, we can do peer. We can listen to this. Where is the page? I keep losing it. Over here. We can listen to this peer on call, and then what we could do is this. We can basically just navigate. I guess when they accept the call, when we do call answer with the media stream, I think what I can do is this. I could probably store the media stream in a Redux store. I don't know if that's a good idea, to be honest with you, but maybe I could store it in a Redux store, navigate the user back to the video page, right, to the video call with the user, and then render the stream to the browser. Okay, I think maybe that's what we could do, because I can do this. I can get the media stream, navigate the user back, okay, and then what we could do is after we show the users, okay, after, yeah, I think we could do that. I think we could do that, and then we can also listen to call on stream, and then we can also remove, yeah, we can also set the remote stream in the Redux store for the user, and we can just render that out. I think this is okay. We'll have to see though. We'll have to try to see what happens. Akshat, how are you? Welcome to the stream. What are your thoughts on adding that logic in the provider? To be honest, I don't really think it matters whether you add it in a Redux store or a context. I mean, we are already using Redux anyway, so might as well just migrate everything into Redux. And I think it's just not good to use both. I mean, you can use both, right? You can use both. Hold on. Okay, anyways. But yeah, well, you can use both when you need it, but I think it's just better to just put everything into the Redux store, honestly. Okay, let me just do one of two things. One, let me just make sure that I have my code, because I'm going to move into the master branch. I'm going to move into a different branch. But by the way, for those who are interested, I added a README to the project so you guys can get a better understanding of how to actually set up the project itself. But yeah, like there's a README on the project, so if you're interested in setting this up yourself locally, you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, but I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this code here as a reference. This is the code that we wrote 2 streams ago. So I'm just gonna put this here as a reference, so I don't need to go back and forth between branches. So I'm just gonna switch over to the master branch right now. And what we're gonna do is, I think in the master branch we're going to need to set up. Well, here's one of two things. Let me just do this. Let me go over here. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So yes, I do not have that peer that calls page over there. Perfect. Let's just go over here. Yo, what's going on, Cax? How are you? Is this the last stream? No, it's not the last stream. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much we get done today, but as I've said before, once we finish video chat and voice chat, here's what I'm gonna do. Before we do anything, let me just open up Asana real quick and just kind of show you guys where we're at right now. Go over here. Go over here. Let's go to board. So what I'll do is I'll probably finish video and voice chat. Once that's done, I'll probably finish up most of the things that we have on our board, but I'm not going to add anything new. Like, for example, I'll definitely work on the blocking feature. So that's going to be there. Pin messages, that'll probably be there as well. Probably might not work on archiving chats. Let me just remove this. And let me just remove this as well. Probably won't do embed messages, but we'll be doing markdown. That's not really that difficult. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, this was already done already, so let me just move that. Probably won't worry about this part. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm still gonna work on the project though, but I'm just saying we're gonna get all of this stuff done before we move into the other few projects. So as I said before, in case if you guys have not read my latest post, I will show you the latest post that I read, that I wrote out real quick. So let me go over here to my Twitter, and let me just go over here. So basically what I was talking about is what we're going to do after this chat platform is this. We're not going to obviously end the streams. I'm still going to be streaming every single day, don't worry. But we're going to be building a new project. So about like 3 weeks ago, I said that I wanted to build an e-commerce app for the next project, but that'll probably wait a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on a money transfer app using Stripe. So if you've used PayPal, if you've used Cash App, if you've used Venmo before, those are examples of money transfer apps, right? So we'll use something like Stripe to build out, a money transfer system, right? And everything will be done in a sandbox mode. So when you guys actually sign up and go through the testing process, you're not going to be using your real credit cards or debit cards, right? You're going to be using a sandbox card to test everything out. And we'll basically make it so that way people can transfer money between one another, right? And then what we'll do with this application, once we finish it, this application probably won't take more than like maybe a week or two, I'm predicting, right? Because it's a really simple app using Stripe. So if you are interested in learning about Stripe, definitely stay tuned with this live stream, because we will be building this application in about like 2 to 3 weeks, around October. Once we finish out this application, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create the e-commerce app, and the e-commerce app is going to use it's going to use some of those APIs from the money transfer app. We're basically taking this one app and we're creating an entire platform of microservices. If you think about it, it's just that each microservice is its own application. It's not really a microservice. I don't really want to call it a microservice, but you can think of it like a microservice, right? Because what we'll be doing is we'll have these different APIs and we'll be communicating with different APIs. So you'll understand how different applications communicate with others, right? For example, when you build your own API, you're going to communicate with maybe Shopify's API, you'll communicate with, you know, Amazon's API, you'll communicate with Twitter's API. So you'll get a better understanding of how different applications work with each other. So for example, how does, you know, this single chat application, how will this chat application integrate with a different application that we're building from the ground up? So you'll learn about all of these different things as we go about it. So if you guys are excited, you know, definitely stay tuned, right? Definitely stay tuned. But we're definitely coming towards the end of this chat application. I'm not saying that I'm going to discontinue this application. I'll still be working on it, and I'll still be fixing up a lot of stuff. And for those people who are wondering if they can open a pull request, once we move on from that, that is when I'll actually start accepting pull requests. So if you guys are also interested in contributing to the application itself, you guys will be more than happy to do so. It's just not ready yet for contributions yet. Do you plan to containerize it at all? Maybe. How do you keep yourself calm when you do a bunch of things and then it messes up almost everything up? I mean, sometimes, you know, it's okay to be frustrated when things don't go right. But, you know, like, you know, we're all human at the end of the day. You know, just, as long as you just, you know, figure it out, you know, just, you know, do your research, figure it out. That's all that matters. But it does happen, though, from time to time. If you want, I can make a notification sound. I saw it while looking at to-do. I think actually someone already sent me one before, like about 2-3 weeks ago. I appreciate it, though. If I can find that message, I'll look it up. But if I can't, though, I'll definitely let you know, Cax. I appreciate it. Well, that's amazing, perfect. Yeah, like I said, we got a lot of stuff to do, man. We got a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, definitely, if you guys aren't already, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, because I'm going to be posting updates on Twitter as well as my YouTube channel. Like, I'll be using, like, you know, the YouTube community tab to keep you all updated. But definitely follow my Twitter, though, because that's where I will be posting most of my updates if you guys haven't already. But yeah, that's pretty much the goal of this project. So we're turning one single product and we're turning it into multiple different products. So it eventually is going to turn into, maybe we'll turn it into like a whole entire platform, and who knows, right? If we can think of other stuff, maybe if we can think of other stuff to add along the way. The other thing that I would like to add that is not on this list is a social media app. The social media app is going to be really difficult because you have to figure out how you can manage the relationship between two users, as well as how many people someone is following. And I feel like that would be extremely difficult. So that is something that I would like to add, but at the moment I can't really think of a prior solution to it. But I'm doing some research though on the side, so don't worry. When you start working on e-commerce, are you gonna use the Nest for the backend? I don't know, honestly. I mean, I honestly don't know. Maybe I might use Django. Maybe I might use Spring Boot. I definitely would like to use something that is like, I will tell you guys this though. I will tell you guys this, okay? I was actually playing around with Vite, or Vite is what they call it. They call it Vite. Okay, I was playing around with Vite today, and I just want to tell you guys, like, I think Vite is amazing. Like, I was playing around with it. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to take a look at that. Let me see if I can show you this real quick. Okay, let me just give you guys a quick demo, and then we'll move back onto the project. Let's just go over here. Just clear everything out. So I was using Vite today, right? And I think this is amazing. Like, it's not a new framework, it's just tooling for your React or Vue or Angular project, right? So if I do yarn dev, like, look how fast it opens up the server, right? And like, it's just overall ridiculously fast. Like, it's just overall ridiculously fast. So if I wanted to change something immediately, it loads up. First of all, it loads up extremely fast. Second of all, the changes reflect the DOM extremely fast too. I think it's also client. By default, it uses client-side rendering. But it also supports server-side rendering as well. Now, some of you might be wondering if we'll be using any frameworks like NestJS for the project. I probably will not use NestJS, only because I don't think I'll be using any server-side rendering. What I think I'll do though is I'll probably create a landing page for all the products that we're building out. So for example, right? Let me show you an example of what my vision is for this whole platform. So my vision is basically this. I'm thinking about creating a landing page using Next. The landing page will 100% be Next because we want it to be SEO optimized. We want it to load fast for users, right? But for the actual application itself, you don't really need SEO optimization for the application because it's going to sit behind an authentication server anyways. So it doesn't really make sense to use server-side rendering for that. You could still do that though, But my prediction is we're gonna have a lot of complex client-side JavaScript, so that's why I'm not opting in for server-side rendering yet. So what I'm thinking is this, right? I'm thinking about creating a Next.js landing page, and the Next.js landing page will basically, talk about the whole organization. It'll talk about the whole platform, and it'll show all the products, right? So, for example, if you look at Stripe's website, for example, and this is the website for Stripe. This is the product that we're going to be using to build out the payment platform and everything, right? So you can see right over here they have products, and you can see all of the different products. And that's what I'm thinking is we're going to have all of the products. We're going to have the chat application. We're going to have the money transfer app. We're going to have the e-commerce store. We're going to have everything listed on here, so that way customers will be able to see all the products, right? And they'll be able to navigate between the two. It's just basically like the vision behind, it's like the vision behind like someone who wants to build a company from the ground up. This is like the thought process that one would have. How would you build out these landing pages? How would you build these individual products? You can think of each product website like their own application, right? You can think of it like that if you want to. So, for example, when you link to checkout, this will be its own application. You can kind of think of it like a micro front end, but not really like a micro front end, because micro front ends typically they're different like apps that are all stitched together on a single page. They can also have their own independent routes too, but you can kind of think of it like this. And I'll show you how we'll manage all of this using Nginx. I promise you guys that. Anson, I have good news. I got my first order in Fiverr. Let's go. Nice, man. Congrats on that. Hey, Anson. Yo, what's going on, commonly? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Any tips on learning React? Just follow a tutorial along as you're coding. Make sure you're, as you are following the tutorial, make sure you are also coding as well, right? Give me one sec. But yeah, that's what I would say when learning React. If you're following along, the best way to learn something is actually follow along with the tutorial and actually code on the side and ask questions to yourself, so that way you are not left confused. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on because we've done a lot of talking. So what I'll do is this. I'll go ahead and set up a calls page. So let me just zoom in a little bit so that way it's a lot easier for you all. And we'll do the same thing with the rest of our pages. So we'll of course have a sidebar. Okay. Let's go over here. Yeah, so we'll have a sidebar and we'll need to render out the outlet. So the sidebar will just be all the friends that we can call. Okay. Or we can, or maybe instead of showing friends, maybe what we'll do is we'll show like the recent call log. So we'll separate that away from chat itself. Okay. So let's do this outlet. And we're going to want to make sure we have our sidebar. So let's create a sidebar. So let's go over to components. Let's go over to sidebars, and we'll do calls. And we can also separate it between like voice and video maybe, or maybe not. Who knows? All right. I think call sidebar, and it literally looks similar to our conversation sidebar. So we'll have I guess instead what we'll do is we'll show like the recent I think what we'll do is we'll show like the recent calls that they've made, and it'll kind of be like a call history if you think about it. But if we do that though, we'll probably want to also have like a section where they can see all their friends maybe. Or maybe we'll just make it so that they can search for their friends to call. I don't know. It really depends on how we want to do it. For now, I'll just go ahead and for now, what I'll do is I'll just render out the friends, and then we can always refactor it later on. Okay. So let's go ahead. Oh, let me close out this. But yeah, for the next project though, I'll probably use a Vite. I haven't looked at Astra yet, but maybe I'll take a look at that. But I'm 100% not going to use Create React App though. It's definitely going to be either Vite or Next.js, but I'm not really thinking about using Next.js. because I don't think we'll need any server-side rendering, to be honest. We'll save the server-side rendering when we create a landing page that will link to all the products, if for those who are wondering, that is. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is this user. I'm gonna change this to from conversation sidebar. I'm gonna change this to I'll just call it maybe sidebar, honestly. So now we just have to make sure everywhere in our application we change that. So in conversation sidebar, we have to go into here. Let's go there. Let's save. All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna reuse this component, the sidebar style component, so that way we don't have to recreate components over and over again, which is not good, of course. Okay, so we'll do return. Okay, and inside sidebar, we want to have the header itself. Okay, now for the header, might be also reusing this as well. Let me just look at that real quick. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I'll probably just reuse this, honestly. Sidebar header. So that way we don't have to recreate the components constantly. So let's do sidebar header like that. And sidebar header will have, I guess we'll just do this. We'll just render out friends. So it's going friends. And let's just render out the calls sidebar real quick. So let's go into our pages. So let's do calls page. And we want to render out that page right over there. So this will be inside a fragment. Outlet. Let's refresh. Okay. Of course, it's not going to do anything right now. We got to go ahead and actually render out the page or set it up with a React router. And I also don't know if NestJS has the new router implemented yet. I know that there's a new routing system that they're releasing, but I'm not sure if it's out yet. And I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not really that much of a fan of the file system routing, to be honest with you. It does have its limitations, but that's just my personal opinion, though. You know, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that I just personally don't like it. So create React app is bloated with modules or something. That's why it's not ideal for larger apps. Well, I mean, it is definitely very, very bloated. That's why, like, in companies and corporations, right? Like, even when I was working as a software engineer, we don't use create React app. We don't use create React app. Yeah, we didn't use create React app. What we actually did was we created the entire project from scratch using Webpack, right? So we basically created Webpack, or not created Webpack. We basically installed Webpack. We installed React and React DOM, and then we installed all the other all the other things that we needed. Create React app comes with a lot of additional things that your application might not need. So when you so of course if you're building like a larger app, you're going to be stuck with a lot of bloatware that Create React app comes with. Okay, but of course, Vite or Vite uses Rollup now, and so Rollup is ridiculously much faster than Webpack. Why do I use Webpack instead of Vite? What do you mean? What time is it where you live? It is currently 10 p.m. right now. What do you think about Nuxt? I don't really think anything about it because I don't use it. What's going on, Ishant? How are you? There we go. So this is what the sidebar will look like, and right now we're just going to display all of the friends, but of course what we'll do later is we'll go ahead and make it so that it'll show like the recent call log. What's going on, Divi? How are you? Paish X, hello from Malaysia. Nice. What part of Malaysia are you from? Parcel is also a good one. Let's see. Let's go around. Let's go to calls page. All right. So when so I guess what we'll do is when they call a user, we'll probably redirect them to calls active. I guess I don't really know how I want to do this, to be honest with you, or I guess yeah, active, and then it'll navigate to them. It'll navigate them to that page, and then they'll be able to see it. Let me rename this to current call. Oh, Nitra KL. Oh wow, that's nice. My family's from Malaysia, so that's good to hear. Parcel is also a good one. Are you merging money transfer app and chat app? Yeah, so for those who are just joining, basically the plan is within the next week or so we'll probably be finishing up this app, and then once we're done, we'll go ahead and create a money transfer app, and then once we finish the money transfer app, basically if like I said, if you've used Facebook before, right, you'll see that Facebook has like a dollar sign next to the so basically this is what we're gonna do, right? Let me show you this. This is what we're gonna do. So let me do dollar or money. Actually, I like this one better. Okay. So basically, once not done, but once we finish up the web chat, the video chat and stuff, right? We'll basically have let's do this 20 by 28. We'll basically have another icon right over here, right? And you'll only be able to see this if the user has set up you know, their payment system, right? So what you'll do is when you click on this, you can basically send money to the other user, and it'll all be done through Stripe. So it's going to be secure. It's going to follow PII, right? Obviously, one of the difficult stuff when it comes to building something with, you know, with payment, right? You need to follow PII, all right? And Stripe pretty much takes care of all that for us. So once we finish this, we'll add that icon, and then when you click on the icon, you can select the amount that you want to send to the user, and it'll basically just transfer it to their bank account or you know, debit card, for example. You'll learn more about this when we get to the application itself. Like you'll learn how we're going to connect both of them together. I think Vite has the most complete ecosystem of the Webpack, but it's too messy and overcomplicated to justify in using a new app. Hey, how are you? It's weekend and I'm trying to start this app from the beginning. Nice. All right, let's do this. Sorry, guys. I just yawn a lot. Okay. So let's do this. Calls. Let's go to constants. And let's go over here. Okay. And we'll go ahead and add that right here. Okay, there we go. And we'll go ahead into the helpers function and get user set icons. We'll set a case for calls, and we'll just return a call icon, which we will grab from React icons. Yo, what's going on, Corliss? How are you? You didn't stream yesterday? I did not stream yesterday. Let's do calls. Logging in register is not working. I checked div tools and it gives a bad gateway error. Yeah, because I turned off the app. Not really a fan of that, honestly. Is there one for video? I'll just do FA video. Well, I mean, we're using IO already. Let's see, is there IO video? Let's see, IO video. Okay, that's fine. It's going alright. How about you? It's going good. It's going good. Oh, okay, so no, you're good. You're good. Yo, what's going on, Kelvin? How are you? Okay. So what I'll do now is I want to go ahead and fetch all the friends from the API and render them. So in Sidebar. So let's see. I will probably dispatch that inside Sidebar. So, well, actually, no, we don't need to do that. Yeah, actually, we don't even need to dispatch anything because we already have all the friends list already being fetched. It's already in the Redux store. So we'll just literally get it from the Redux store. And so let's just do this. Let's go over here, launch it off. Okay, let's log in. Let's create a friend request. Oh wait, that's the wrong user. Totally forgot. My entire username is screwed right now. I keep forgetting. It's fine. We'll redrop the database later, so it's fine. Should probably write a script for this, to be honest. Simplify things a lot more better for us. Okay, so we have 3 friends that we will need to display right over here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and log in as okay, 1, 2, 3, perfect. Okay, so now what I want to do is if I refresh, you can see that in the Redux store I should have 3 friends, but I'm not sure why it's not being there. Oh, you know why? It's because, oh, okay, I think I know why. It's because we did not dispatch. Yeah, we didn't dispatch. It only dispatches it when we go to friends. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I guess we'll just dispatch the action again to avoid any stale data, of course. So what I'll do is I'll do a use effect. And we'll get the dispatch. So const dispatch. Okay, and then we'll do dispatch fetch friends thunk. Okay, that should take care of fetching the friends. So now if I refresh, friends should be populated now. And we can very easily just grab the friends from the store. What's going on, Hammer88? How are you? Welcome to the stream. And so now what we can do is we can do const. Do I want to render it in sidebar or? Let me see. No, I'll render it in calls page actually. I'll render it in calls page. I'm not render. I'm sorry. I meant I'll fetch the friends from there. So we'll do it inside here. Yes. There we go. Cool. And let's just remove all this. And then now inside here we can just do const friends equals use selector state root state dot friends. Okay, or actually, yeah, state dot friends, and that should give us all the friends. What theme is this? It's called AU. Higgle Jiggle, how are you? Hello, how much time does it take more? By the way, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that like button. We're really close to 100 likes, guys. We're 16 likes away, so if you haven't already, make sure you all hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate that a lot. Let me just go ahead now, and we want to render out all of the friends, so we'll literally do the same thing right over here. We'll go ahead and reuse this component, conversation scrollable container. So I'll just change this to scrollable container, and of course we'll have to fix that error conversation sidebar. So let's go to conversation. Oh, we're over here already. Okay, there we go. Can you type the name theme? What's the VS Code setting you use for? Use the settings command to get all my VS Code settings. Jishu, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, by the way, we have commands, guys. We have settings, we have FAQ, we have Discord, we have settings will give you all my VS Code settings. FAQ will give you the FAQ. Discord will give you Discord. But yeah, that should answer all your questions. You can just take a look at that over there. Let's see, scrollable container, and this is where we will render out all of our items. Okay, so let's see, scrollable container, sidebar. Why did I do this? I guess I created another one. I don't know why I created another div though. That doesn't really make any sense, to be honest. I'm really confused why I did that, but it's fine. That's totally fine. All right, we'll go ahead and create a component. Yeah, I'll call it call sidebar item. And I'm going to reuse the same component, I think, so that way it'll be themed as well. So conversation sidebar item, conversation sidebar style. I think I might reuse the same one, or I might use a different one. I'm not sure though. I might use a different one. We'll see. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll use a different one, honestly. Yeah, I'll use a different one. Screw it, because like the layout will look a lot different. So Flex versus grid versus bootstrap grid, which is good. Well, I mean, Flex and grids are both good. You can't really compare them because they both can achieve the same thing, just differently. But I would just say, like, you know, grids are very powerful, and so is Flexbox. So it's really hard to compare the two of them, you know. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys join the Discord server as well. That's going to be discord.gg/Anson. Make sure you guys join the Discord server as well. We are now at 12. I think we're at 1,300. Yeah, we're at 1,300 members, guys. We're literally only at 1,000 members the other day. We were literally at 1,000 members literally like 5 days ago. So within 5 days, we literally gotten 300 more members. That's insane. So make sure you guys join the Discord server if you haven't already. It's a great community, lots of nice people there, and I would highly recommend it. What's going on, Aaron? How are you? Was there any reason why you didn't use Next.js? Well, why should I? Well, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. Why should I have used Next.js? Let me ask that question. Because I can tell you a lot of reasons why I would use Next.js, but I can also tell you a lot of reasons why I wouldn't use Next.js. But I'll tell you the reason why I didn't use Next.js because I was not really that comfortable with Next because I had just came back from a coding break. I didn't really code for like 7 months. And so I wasn't really comfortable with using Next, but I was very comfortable with using React, right? Now I do understand the benefits of using Next. It's really fast. It's way more faster than using Create React App, right? You can use server-sided rendering. You can also use SEO optimization. But I don't think our app needs that though. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think our app really needs that. And I would argue that our application actually has a lot of complex client-side JavaScript that is needed for a more complicated UI. And for those reasons, I think that it's actually good that we didn't use Next.js, because when you're building an application that is going to sit behind authentication, you probably don't really care if that is going to be SEO optimized or not. But if you're building a landing page, for example, and I'll use the Stripe website, for example. I'll show you an example, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm building out a landing page, of course I want my landing page to be SEO optimized, because how else are people going to search for our products, right? So of course, for the application itself, for the landing page itself, I'd probably use Next.js for that, or something that is equivalent for SEO optimization. But if you're building something that sits behind authentication, you probably don't really care if that application itself is going to be SEO optimized, because you're not going to have users go directly to that page regardless. People are going to have to authenticate first regardless, right? So what I would do is I would build up the landing page, have it SEO optimized, and then show like a login link. And when they click on that login link, you can then redirect that page to the actual product page itself. And depending on how you set up your whole architecture, your whole infrastructure, right, with your server, you can basically have it automatically log them in if they are already logged in based on the authentication server. So there's many ways they could do that, but I don't think like using server-side rendering would be super beneficial for an application like this, just because we have a lot of UI logic. Will the live be saved as a video on the channel? Yes. All of the lives are saved on the video, saved as VOD, so anyone can rewatch it. But I'm not saying that Next is bad. I just don't really think that Next would have been really all that. I don't really think it would have made such a huge difference. If comparing using it to Next or using it to Create React App. Obviously, there are some good things with Next, but I think that there's also some things that client-side rendering has a lot to offer compared to server-side rendering. But of course, though, when we get to the landing page, we'll 100% build it out using Next.js, like 100,000%. Let's see. All right, so we'll render out this sidebar item, and we'll basically just pass in call next. Let's see, friends. And we'll need to pass in friend as a prop. Like that. So that way we can render out the friend and the avatar, okay? And it'll literally look similar like this, okay? And it'll have like buttons and such. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Okay, so we have our friend type right over here. Props. Here we go, and whoops, friend like that. Okay. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and render out the user's avatar, and then we'll render out the name, and then we'll render out the username, and then we'll render out the buttons. So I'm going to remove the mic, and we'll just do call instead. So let's first render out, well, I think what I'll do is I'll make this a flex box. image source friend.avatar. Well, actually, wait, the way that I want to render out the avatar is we want to use our user avatar component that we created, and it's going to require. Okay. Now we also need to make sure we know which friends render, which users to render out. So I think we have a yeah, we have a function that can do that for us, I think. Let's see, where is it? I had a function that I created some time ago. Let's see, where is it? Users, user avatar. Yeah, get profile picture. Okay. Okay, seems like I did something different. Get friend, get friend. Get user from. Did I not create this function? Get user. I've been coding in React for about a year and a half, I'd say. I started in 2020, around March, but the thing is, like, I wasn't really that good with it. But that's when I started, and then when I started building projects with React was probably around maybe like June-ish or so. And yeah, that's when I started. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll probably take this function and I'll move it into a helper. So we export const. And let's see. And then we'll do selected friend. Okay, and so we'll do authenticate user. So that way we don't have to reuse everything. That way we don't have to like write this whole thing. Get user friend instance is a function that we can recall. So now what I could do instead is right over here, I can do this. Get user friend instance, friend. Let's see. And we just have to pass in the authenticated user. So const user equals use context that user. So that'll give us the correct user to actually render out. Okay, so right now, let's just check this as well. Undefined, yeah, that's really annoying. See that? Okay, so you can see that our friends are being rendered out. So that'll be on the side. We'll also want to render out the username and the buttons. So we'll do that. Okay, and of course, like I said, we'll make it a flex box. This is where we'll have the icons as well. Is there any real apps that you built with React that I can look at? I mean, most of my apps are for my private clients, and I can't really share that with you. Fair enough. I thought you would use Next for pages that require SEO server-side prompts. But NestJS is the only way that you... Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, man. I think NestJS is great, but I just think that a lot of people like tend to think that Next should be used for everything, and I don't agree with that. Like, I think you could definitely use Next, like, if you want, but you also need to understand that when you have very, very complex UI, it's really best to use client-side rendering for that. But of course, NestJS is really good when it comes to server-side rendering, like loading the page really fast. But of course, when you have more complex UI, more complex logic that happens on the UI only, that's something they have to take into consideration. But yeah, you know, for like if I were to do it, at least if I were to do it, right, what I would do is I would build out the company's landing page using server-side rendering with, you know, NestJS, right? And then for like, you know, the applications that require authentication, I'll just add like a link to that landing page that is SEO optimized. Because regardless, the user will need to log in anyways, right? It's not like they'll be able to see anything that happens, underneath the hood. Like for example, like even if you Google Stripe, right, you'll see that over here, like all of these things are provided in like I think the head tags, right? You can see that you could basically add the product right over here, right? You can add the product like right over here. And so now you'll see that it'll take you to a new page. And you can see that right over here, the URL dashboard.stripe.log.com, right? I'm pretty sure Stripe uses like some different framework to build out their entire product. They definitely 100% use like a different framework, or at least a different repository compared to their front end. I can promise you that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the icons now. So let's import icons, and I'll probably just use, let's see, React icons. So let's see, I guess I'll maybe use, I think we want video call. So we want a video camera icon, and we want, I think I'll just use IO for that. And then we'll also do call as well. There should be a similar one from IO call. Yep. So let's just go ahead and render those two icons out. So IO and the video cam. Okay, let's close those out and let's see what it looks like. Okay, not bad, not bad. I would say it better depends on the type of application one's building. If it's server side, the Next is good, but for client side, some admin page React would be best. Well, I mean, it boils down to like what do you define as a server side application though, That's what it boils down to. Like what of your application requires server side rendering. Like for example, like if you're building a blog app, well, like if you're building like a blogging application or like a tutorial application, you would definitely 100% want to use server side rendering for that. If you're building like an admin dashboard, if you're building something that sits behind that sits behind like authentication, you can just do client side rendering for that. Let's see. So for the username itself, the class name, and then we'll do which version of video I'm using. I have no idea. Yo, Mio, thank you so much for subscribing, man. Didn't you subscribe the other day, or I'm pretty sure you subscribed the other day, but thank you for subscribing again, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate that. Unless I could have sworn you subscribed the other day, but if you didn't, thank you. I appreciate it, man. I don't really like this call icon. It looks really ugly. I think maybe I'll probably wrap them but behind. Yeah, I think here's what I'll do. Let me do this. Maybe I'll put them behind circles. Make them look a little bit better, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, we're doing video calls. If you want to see a demo, check out the first. Within the first 30 minutes, I did like a quick demo of how the video call works. So definitely check that out if you're interested in. But yeah, we're doing video call and voice chat. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. Now I think about this. I wonder if it'd be easier if I just move this real quick. Yes. I wonder if it'd just be easier if I just did something like this, honestly. I wonder if it'd just be easier if I did something like this. So this could be like a hidden component that is only rendered when the user is in a call. And we can also hide the header as well. So the user can still scroll and then they'll see just this. I think maybe that might be where can I have it? Oh, I mean it's this live stream. Just skip back to the first like 30 minutes or so. If you in this same live stream, just skip back. Is this Figma? Yes, it is. So then maybe I think it might be better if I just did this, but the only question is how would we navigate the user to the conversation? So I think what we could do is we could navigate the user to the conversation group, or not conversation group, the conversation page. So for example, this is the conversation page between the user and themselves, right? We can navigate them to there, and then we can display the video and audio here. I think this might be honestly better, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, I think this might be way better, honestly. So like for example, I honestly think this might be 100. I think this might be 100% better. I took a screenshot of app and scanned on Google and it thought it was Discord. That's funny. Yeah, I think maybe doing it like this might be a lot better, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, doing all this kind of damn, that sucks. All right, you know what? Let me do this real quick. This probably shouldn't take too long. If I can create a conversation. Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm not friends with. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll add like a call icon. Yeah, I think this will actually be a lot more easier. Let me just. I'm gonna do this real quick. I am going to leave that alone for now. And let me do this. Let's go into conversation. Conversation panel, conversation selected. Let's see. No, wait, what am I doing? Here we go. Inside message panel, over here. Inside message panel, we have the header. So what I would do is I'd probably add like another component on top over here. That would probably be like a fixed height. So we'll do this. So we'll do. Can you make a React Native series? Maybe. Well, just watching your next video and it leads me here. Oh, you found me on Twitch? Or how did you find me here? So let me do this real quick. So I'll probably do a fixed height, maybe 400 pixels. I want to do a background color of 0.5, no, not that, 0E, 0E, 0E. Okay. And let's go ahead and render this out in message panel. So now you'll see that right over here now. So I do A, B, C. Okay, yeah, we don't want that to push. You see how it's pushing that? We don't want that to happen. So I think what we'll do is this. This panel body, yeah, min height is 0. Let me do this. Let's see. Nope, I do not want that to. I think maybe actually I might need to set flex to prevent it from shrinking, I think. Let me move this all into message body. I think maybe I need to set flex 1.10 to prevent it from shrinking. Nope, it's, let's see. From description. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, you're working with Purejs, of course, watched it. Are you going to do deployment? Are you going to do the production deployment of this app, or is it just a personal project? I think I've answered that question like 500 times already. But to answer it again, I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be deploying the app, which we already have the deployed version already. Have you used any libraries for the rate limit, or you implement it yourself? Yeah, we use NestJS throttler. Okay, yeah, so I think what I'll do is I'll add a flag. So we'll only set height to calc 100% minus 400 only if this thing is being rendered, and we'll also hide the header as well. So what we'll do is we'll do this. So yeah, we'll pass in the flag, because obviously if we remove this, then this is going to be stuck over there. Well, actually, wait a minute, wait. Oh, that's interesting. 100% minus 400 pixels. That's really weird. I thought it would actually stick to, I thought it would actually stay right over here. That's really interesting, actually. Huh, okay. That is interesting. And yeah, we'll also remove the header as well. Does this scale horizontally? I mean, we're not scaling it horizontally yet, but if we wanted to, we could. There shouldn't be any reason why we couldn't scale it. Hey, why did you choose style components for styling? Did you have any other option or style, or did you always go with it? Because I have used it for a lot of my projects and I have a great experience with it. And I personally like it a lot. Neil, what's going on, man? How are you? Okay. So let's try this out. So yeah, I think what I'll do is this. We'll have conversation call is going to be conditionally rendered, and we'll show the user's video right over here, so you can see the user's video. And of course, when we click on the video, we should maximize it, and we can also give them the option to hide it as well. But I'll probably make the conversation call container a little bit bigger, maybe we'll do 500. Actually, we'll do 600. 600 like that. Okay, cool. So that's what it would look like. Let's see. What else do I want to do? Let's see. Okay, so I think what I'll do next is I'll also add on the header, I'll add that click icon right over here on the other side. So let's let's see, if type equals group. So we'll do if type is equal to private. And we'll render out group icon. I wonder if a car icon is call. Not sure what it looks like, but we can always try it out. Yeah, no, we're not going to use that. I guess we'll just use the same one. We'll use We'll use IO video, I guess, or we'll use FA video. Let's see. So let's do this. Okay, there we go. Size will be 30. Cursor, pointer. Are better at front end or back end more? Are you asking me if I'm better at front or back end? Okay, so what's gonna happen is when I click on that video icon, we're going to need to get the peer's ID. So that's going to need to be a backend thing, okay? So we're going to need to basically initiate a call based on their peer ID, okay? So now we've done the front end part, which is easy. So I think what we'll do is we'll set up another Redux store before we move on to the backend. So what I'll do, or not Redux store, sorry, we'll set up another slice. So what I'll do is I'll do const call slice.ts, export const call slice equals create. Choose now. I'd probably prefer backend, to be honest with you. We'll do name. What theme am I using? It's called AU. AU Dark Pro, I think. Call slice. AU Dark Pro. Are you gonna use I18N? Not my priority right now, but of course at some point we'll probably do that. Someone asked about translation, and they would volunteer to translate. Maybe I'll leave that to the open source people that want to do that. So if people want to contribute, then that's maybe one thing that we could do. But like I said earlier, someone was asking about contributions and making pull requests. At the moment, we're not accepting any contributions because I want to finish up all of the basic things first. Once that's done, once we fix up the code base, once we refactor a lot of code to make it a lot more reusable, I'll let you guys know, and then you guys can definitely contribute if you guys want. Of course, you don't have to, but like I said, a lot of people asked, so I figured I would mention that right now. Once we finish the first version of the application, right, then we can allow more reusability. Because right now, if I let people open a pull request, everything's just going to be very inconsistent because we don't have like a solid contribution guide and contribution standard. And when you let that happen, it just becomes really messy, and you'll have to refactor other people's code, all that kind of stuff. So we have to create a standard first before we can accept pull requests. AYU. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Try out beard theme. You know, I actually tried a lot of themes, to be honest with you, and I personally don't like a lot of themes. I don't know if it's just me. Like, I just don't really like a lot of themes that are on VS Code. Like, I tried bearded, I've tried panda, I've tried Nord, and I don't really like those themes for some reason. You know, maybe I just got bored of them. I used to use Horizon Dark. You know, and yeah, you know. Personally, for me though, I don't really care much about themes. To be honest with you, I just use whatever. Like I could be using, you know, the default Visual Studio Code theme. I could be using the same default one. Additional state call interface. I know I meant to call this call state. But yeah, false. But I don't really like a lot of themes though. But yeah, I mean, I could do this call in progress. We'll also need some other things too, such as let's see. So if call in progress, then obviously we'll render out, you know, let's see. We'll add some other fields. Right now, I'm just going to define what I think we'll need. But later on, we could probably get rid of some of these fields later. So for now, we'll need call in progress, true. That'll be true or false, right? That'll tell us whether or not the user is in the call or not. We'll need recipient accepted call to tell if the user has accepted a call or not. So that way we know when to render out the video, render out the remote stream. Yeah, I think that might be, let me see. We'll do this is, okay, so we'll need one is calling is call in progress. Is call accepted. What else do I need? Maybe that's all we need for now. Is calling false is call in progress. What's going on over here? Oh, whoops. Is call in progress. False. So let's see. When we initiate the call, we'll set is calling to true. These will still be false, so we'll do set calling. And then what we'll do is once the user picks up the call, we'll set this to false. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So let's try this. So let's do this. Let's see. So let's go over to message panel right now. And so we'll only conditionally render a conversation call if, so we'll need to get the reducer, or not reducer, we need to use the selector to select the state. So let's go ahead and export const equals call slice dot actions, export default, call slice dot reducer. We'll do this. Set this calling. Here we go. And so what we'll do is basically we'll go ahead and now set up this in the store. So index.ts call reducer or call reducer. The central idea is to create a simulation of how WhatsApp is. The central idea is to create a simulation app how to WhatsApp or Telegram. Let's see. You call slice. There we go. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get the reduce slice. So const call slice, or we'll just do this. I'll do call slice, or I'll call it call slice or state. I'll call it call slice. Use selector state root state dots call, and then what we'll do is we'll go down over here and we'll do call slice dots. Oops. Call state dot is calling. So if we're currently calling or call state dot is call in progress, then we'll render this out. And this should really be that. So if either one of these are true, then we'll render this out. Okay. And then we'll also do the same thing with, we'll also remove the header. So if, we'll do this. So if call state is currently in calling, if it's not calling, or not call state is call in progress, okay, then we'll render this out. Okay, so we'll only render it out if we're not in the call or if we're not calling the user. Okay, so now if I were to set the default state right now, if I were to change either one of them to true, let's go into store. So if I change it to true, okay, you'll see that the header should be gone. Not sure why the header is still there. Let's see, let's double check this. If it's not calling, if we're not calling, or if call's not in progress, then we'll render it out. Maybe I'll do this actually. So if we're okay, so if the call state is currently call, okay, yeah, we have to put it out. So if either one of these is true, right? So if either we're calling them or if there's a call in progress, and what we'll do is we'll negate the value, and so we will not show the header. And of course, if at least one of these is false, or if this whole entire thing is false, then we'll show the header, which basically means that in order for this whole thing to be false, both of these conditions will see false. So that means we're not calling them, and there's no call in progress. Okay, because obviously we have to use these two conditions because is calling is going to be set to false as soon as the user picks up, which means is call in progress will be set to true, which means that we will not render the header. Okay, cool. And now if I set this back to false, let's refresh. Okay, now that is, let's see what's going on with here. This false and false. False and false is true, yeah. Or no, false or false should be just false. And if we can negate it, why is it not showing the header? Yeah, false or false should be false. So why is it not showing the header? That's really weird. Let's see, this should be, oh wait, hold on. I need to wrap this inside parentheses. But it says that's fine though, so I'm a little bit confused why. You should probably store it with who you're in a call with, to not show call relay on all conversations. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I'll add that in a second. Let me just do this real quick. That's really weird. I guess, let me see this. I guess what I'll do is this. If is calling and call is in progress, show conversation call. Otherwise, we will show. Otherwise, we'll show. Message. Title header. Okay. So now let's set this to true. Perfect. Redux is being really annoying for some reason, but it's fine. Okay, so we'll say recipient will be of type user. Oh wait, whoops. and then we can only show, let's see. Yeah, and then we'll only, yeah, so I think this changes it. So we'll only show this if the current conversation that they're in matches that user. Yeah, I think that's how we'll do it. Yeah, we have a function to get the recipient. So if we're not, so if the authenticated user is not equal to sender, then the other person must be the receiver. If they're not, if the authenticator is equal to receiver, then the other person must be the sender. So we'll have that function that will give us the recipient, and what we'll do is we'll check if the recipient matches, and if it does, then it will only show it in there. Otherwise, it'll show it for all the other conversations. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that when we we'll fix that after we get the video to render. Okay, so yeah. So now what we should do is when we click on this call icon, we should probably update the state. So let's do this. So let's go over to header. And this is the nice thing about having Redux or any state management libraries. Now we can go inside header and we don't need to prop drill anything. We can just literally dispatch an action to update the state. So whenever we click on the points over here, we'll do on click, or the video, we'll do, let's do this. We'll go over here and then we'll go ahead in here and constant video call. Why don't I use a Mac? To be honest with you, I personally don't like Macs because okay, let me put it this way. If I was going outside, if I was traveling, I would obviously use my Mac over. I would choose a Mac over Windows for a laptop, right? If I were to, you know, be at home and use my setup, I prefer using like a PC that I can build from scratch, because I can literally do whatever I want with it. Like I don't like switching between different environments just to do stuff. Like I like having everything in one go. And with Windows, I can program, I can play games, I can edit videos. I mean, you can do it on Mac too. But with Windows, I can play any game I want, right? Most games, like I'm pretty sure every single game is supported by Windows, right? I can do a lot more stuff on Windows. And I can also plug in as much accessories as I want. I can plug in 3 keyboards, I can plug in 4 monitors, I can plug in a TV if I want to. And for those reasons, I like using Windows a lot. I don't hate Mac because I personally like the Mac OS a lot. I like the entire operating system itself. It's just that if I'm at home, I'll tend to yield towards using my Windows computer. If I'm traveling though, I'd rather pick a Mac over a Windows computer. With Mac OS, like, yeah, I mean, you could buy accessories to, you know, plug in as much USB ports as you want, or USB stuff as you want. But, you know, like with my Mac, it only comes with like 4 USB-C ports and it's just like, you know, it's not enough for me personally. It's not enough for me. Like, I have my mouse, I have my 3 keyboards, I have my webcam, I have my what else do I have? I have my Blue Yeti mic, I have my headset, I have, what else? I have my Logitech speakers. Actually, those are plugged into a different port. But I can plug in anything I want without having to worry about unplugging it. Like I have like a lot of USB ports on my motherboard and on my case itself. With a Mac, I would probably have to buy like, you know, I would have to buy 3 separate USB hubs just to get the amount of USBs that I have on that, you know. And with the Mac itself, I can only plug in with the MacBook Pro. I'm limited to only 2 displays at a time. With the Max, I think with the Pro Max you can do up to 3, which I guess that's fine. You know, I was actually thinking about getting the Pro Max, but because of the chip shortage, they weren't selling that at the time, so I just decided to settle with the Pro instead, which only supports 2 displays. But honestly though, if I had the Mac Pro Max, I'd probably just plug in 3 monitors and I would just call it a day. I guess I don't hate iOS. I mean, look, listen, I'm not saying I hate Apple. I'm not saying that I hate and plus there's not that many phones that have more than, there's not that many phones that have. Well, I mean, with phones it's different, right? With phones you have just one charging port. Like I don't think there's much. I don't think that. I mean, most Androids, even Samsung, don't have like lots of like USB ports and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I personally have an iPhone and I like iPhone a lot more than Android, to be honest with you. But I'm not saying I hate Mac. I just don't like I love the software. I just don't like the hardware, if that makes sense. Like I absolutely despise the hardware. Like I despise how like they limit you to only 4 USB-C ports. Like come on, Like me personally, like I like having my quadruple monitor set up. I like having my 3 keyboards. I like having my microphone. I like plugging in whatever I want, my camera, everything. With Mac, it's just like, and that's the reason why I haven't really used my Mac much at home. Because I bought my Mac and it just kind of sat there for 6 months straight without me using anything, without me doing anything with it. And when I traveled, that was when I actually used it, But yeah, I just like having like my Windows set up because I can play video games, I can, edit videos, I can open up whatever program I want at the same time that is all supported by Windows. I don't have to worry about using a VM. I don't have to worry about passing a graphics card down to the VM. I don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff, And for that reason, but I'll tell you this: the moment Linux supports Adobe products, the moment Linux supports every single video game that you can possibly imagine, I'm probably gonna switch to Linux. But until then, probably won't. But I have used Linux in the past though, but I don't really like it too much, to be honest with you. I think unfortunately, I'll forever be a Windows guy. And I say unfortunately because I use Windows, right? But I absolutely hate Windows so much. Like I absolutely fucking hate Windows so much because they're so invasive. Their whole entire operating system is just so invasive. Like the fact that I can go AFK for 15 minutes and they can like manually update my computer is just absolutely stupid. So for that reason, I absolutely fucking hate Windows. But that's just what happens when you have Windows being a monopoly. But it's okay though. Hey, can you please include scalability of Socket.io? You know what's funny is that someone just sent me a message and they said that you could probably they said that you doubt that you can use WebSockets with Next. What I like with Apple is the minimalist style and the font design. I mean, listen, I like that too, but I will only like it if I'm using it for traveling. Like I said, I like my Mac if I'm traveling. Same thing with my iPad. But if I'm not traveling, if I'm at home, I'm always going to use Windows, no matter what. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, let's create this function. So what we want to do is this. What we want to do is we want to connect the peer. We want to connect to the peer. Okay? So from here, we need to get the user ID of the channel itself. And we can very easily grab that, right? Because we have the conversation right over here. And now let me go. I think we have a helper function already defined already that will give us that user from the conversation. Or get the recipient. Yup, right over here. Get recipient from conversation. So we basically pass in the conversation, we pass in the user. And now if the user ID is equal to the creator of the conversation, then we return the recipient. If it's equal to, and if it's not equal to the creator, that means they are the recipient. Or if they're not equal to the creator, that means they're the recipient, and we get the creator. So we can very easily just grab that real quick. So let's just do this. Get recipient from conversation. Get recipient. And all you guys gotta do is just pass in the conversation and the user. Okay, so this will give us the recipient. And so when we click on this, we will know which recipient to connect with. So let's just console log it. And let's click here. And you can see that it says Justin Timberlake. Okay, let's go ahead and also set up one with John Jones, the famous UFC fighter John Jones, the guy who took steroids. John Jones, yeah, that John Jones. And you can see that we have them right over here. Okay, and we'll do one for this user, and we can click that, and you can see that that's being logged over there. Yo, what's going on, Junaid? How are you? Hey man, what's the progress now? I'm still gonna ask every day. Love to see the work, man. Right now we're just working on video chat right now. The font, I have no idea. I think it's some kind of monospace font. I'll check later. But yeah, so basically when we click on this, we're going to need their peer ID. So this is the next thing that we have to do. We need to go ahead and make sure that we get the peer ID. right? Because the peer ID is what we need to actually call the user, right? That's how we're going to need to connect to the peer, right? Because right now we're doing peer-to-peer, okay? So let's do this. Let's do this. So this one and this one are codependencies. So we need to generate the peer instance for when the user signs up. And so now we got to go to the backend real quick and set this up. So let's see. I have created the peer already. Yeah, I think we are already creating the peer automatically. But for some reason, when I try to get the... Oh, wait, actually, no, it's there, it's there. Yeah, we already have the peer ID already. Okay. Okay, good. I thought we didn't have it for some reason. Oh, yeah, we already did that already. So, yeah, we did that 2 days ago. So let me add this right over here. We did it on Thursday. Yeah, I don't think I streamed yesterday, I think. In NestJS, why we directly access React body and guards without declaring React services? Because in the guards layer, you need to actually get the actual request body. That's just how it is. All right, so it should have this peer. For some reason it doesn't, and I think it might be because, oh yeah, you know why? It's because conversations does not include the peer relation. So we'll need to do that real quick. So we'll need to left join and select conversation. Oh, not here. We'll do recipient up here. What's that to-do app? The to-do app is Asana. By the way, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. We're going for 500 likes by the end of the stream. I'm going to be streaming for a very long time today. I'm going to be streaming from right now all the way probably until maybe, I don't even know. Maybe we might even do a 24-hour stream. I don't know. We might do a 24-hour stream. But if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button. Best use cases of interceptors. They're usually good if you need to do like stuff like logging. Basically, anything that you need to do before the request or after the response, that'd be a good idea to use an interceptor. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys drop that like button. It would really help out with the stream a lot. We're going for 500 likes before the end of the stream, and I'm going to be streaming for a very long time today. So make sure you guys hit that like button. What's going on, Ian? How are you? Create up here, recipient up here. Okay, so this should give back all of the peer instances. So let's try looking at this now. So let's look at conversation, and we have the peer. Perfect. Right over here. Perfect. So now I could We have peer. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Cool. All right, so now when we click on that, we basically, okay, so here's what we need to also do, right? We also need to define the peer probably at maybe, I wonder if it's a good idea to define it in the Redux store. I think we could. I don't think there'd be any problems with that. We'll try it out. We'll try it out ourselves and see what happens. So let's go over here. Let's go over to this. Let's go over to where is it? Where is it? Store. Call slice. I guess we'll do peer from. I think you should be able to define. Did I ever install peer? I don't think I've installed peer for this. Yeah, I don't think I've installed it. So we'll have to install Purejs. Purejs. Let's install that real quick. Yep, Purejs npm Purejs. Let's see. Yep, install that real quick. Let's go to add Purejs. So I'm just going to install Purejs right now, right over here. Okay. And we should be good to go. So we'll import peer from Purejs, and we'll do peer, and I should be able to just do new peer. But the only problem is that we need to set the ID, and I don't think you can set the ID afterwards. I don't think it's possible. Yeah, it's a read-only property. So let's see. I mean, maybe what I could do is I could just set this to, yeah, maybe what I'll do is this. I think maybe what we should do is we should probably also programmatically create the peer instead of just creating it. So maybe what I'll do is when the user sets up a call, right? Maybe we'll create the peer. And then when they finish the call, we'll probably remove the peer from the store. So set peer. And the payload will be a string. Okay. And we'll do state.peer equals new peer. We'll do action.payload. Okay. Cool. Okay. So let's go over. Okay, so we'll go inside the header. Whoops, not there. Message on container, message on the header. There we go. So we'll go over here, and what we'll do is we will go ahead and wait. Where is my, oh, right here, okay. So go ahead right over here. So we'll go ahead and also get the peer from the store. So we'll do const call slice state.call, and it will do call state peer. So we'll do if call state dot peer, then we probably won't do anything. Okay. But let me, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do peer. So if peer, we'll also need to make sure that the user is not currently in the call. If they're currently in a call, someone else will have to hang up that call, of course. Okay, but I'll show you how we can handle that later. We'll do if, here's what we'll do. If there's no peer, whoops, if there's no peer, then we'll first dispatch an action. Well, now here's the problem though, right? Actually, you know, now that I think about this, You know, now that I think about this, if we... Okay, actually, I have an idea. Const peer. Here's what we'll do. We'll create the peer, and then we'll just dispatch it and set it to the store. So new peer. And we will need our own peer ID, I believe. So user.peer.id. And we need to add that right over there. So let's go over to types. Yep, right over here. So we'll do I'm going to call it user peer because we already have a peer type that comes in Purejs, and I don't want to conflict with that. So I'll call this user peer. And now we can do user.peer.id. Okay, and then we'll dispatch the action to the store. So let's go over here. So we'll just change this to this. Do that. And then we'll do dispatch set peer. Export that as well. And we'll pass a new peer like this. So that way we get a reference to this any way we want. Is it worth having a separate file for interfaces and types? You can if you'd like to. I mean, personally for me, I would probably do it because interfaces are technically different in terms of semantics compared to types. If you have a lot, you could probably keep it in different files. So we'll dispatch this action, and then now what we'll do is we'll do new peer.call, and we need to pass in the peer's name. But I think before we do that though, we need to connect. We need to connect first. So you can see right here, we need to connect to the peer first, because this is basically, I think this is the signaling process, I think. Let me look at Purejs' docs real quick just to confirm, so we're not so we are sure of what's going on. So API reference, connect, connects to the remote peer. Be sure to listen to the error event in case the connection fails. The brokering ID of the remote peer. I'm pretty sure this is likely the signaling process, I believe. I am pretty sure. But anyways, we do need to connect. So do const connection equals peer.connect. Okay, and we'll pass in the recipient's peer ID. So recipient.peer.id. Okay, and I know that this is going to be a truthy value. So that way we don't have to worry about that. But what I'll do, of course, is I'll do if there's no recipient, we'll do return console log. If for whatever reason this is undefined. We'll do if there's no user return user undefined. Okay. And that way I can just do user.peer.id and then recipient.peer.id. I'm having a hard understanding of the interface compared to type. I don't know which I should use. Well, I mean, the thing is with types, you cannot. Okay, interfaces are pretty much designed for you to implement them with a class. So, for example, if you create an interface, you want to make sure you're implementing that interface with a class. Most of the time, you'll use interfaces for those reasons. So, if you're going to use a type to type annotate an object, use a type instead of interface. If you're going to create an interface that you're going to implement with a class, then use an interface for that. You won't use types for that. That's what I would recommend. Hey, Anson, got a question for you. How did you get your app on a domain? I've been trying to get my React. I mean, that's kind of a bloated question because there's a process that you have to do that I can't really explain all in one go right now. I would just recommend you to look up an app or look up a tutorial on how to point your domain to your server, which shouldn't be that difficult. Depends on what type of registrar you're using, because usually they will, like for example, if you're using Linode or if you're using DigitalOcean, all you have to do is just go on your registrar and then just point the name servers to the DigitalOcean or the Namecheap name servers. But you can easily just look that up on Google though. So anyways, we'll go ahead and call new peer.connect. And then once we're done with that, this is where we're going to do this. So once we connect the user, we want to make sure we call them. But we also need to make sure we are listening to the events because it could possibly fail, right? So const connection equals new peer.connect. Now, let me also do this as well. I'm going to try this real quick. So now what I'll do is this. I think what I'll do is I'll set the connection, data connection. Anson, can I pay you to create a webcat MDT for my roleplay server? Could you say how much it would cost? What's webcat MDT? Okay, so we'll just do this. So what we'll do is when we set this, we want to re-render. And then what I want to do is I want to do if connection and connection on open. Connection. I think this should be fine. Connection on error. And error has occurred. Like an officer database with civilian information like plates and things. Oh, were you the person that messaged me last time? Or are you someone else? Because someone else also asked me for that as well. I'm not sure if you're the same person though. Yo, what's going on, Star? How are you? I'm hosting on DigitalOcean. Cool. So we will re-render this. Of course, if connection is truthy, we'll do console log connection is defined, and then we want to make sure we do connection.off open. This will prevent any memory leaks. So that's the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of doing it inside here. I think it should work though. I don't think there should be any problems with that, honestly. So I think we should be fine. And so now what I'll do is once we set the connection, we want to listen to his events, and then what we'll do is we'll set the state of is calling to true. So we'll do dispatch set is calling to true. And then once we do that, well actually we won't do that yet, sorry. We'll do this. We want to go ahead and do this. We want to go ahead and do const call peer.call or new peer. and we're going to pass in the username that we want to call as well as the media stream. Okay, so we're going to need to pass in the user's username. That's very easy. So that's just going to be recipient user.id. That's the username, and we need to pass in the media stream. So we'll have to grab that up top over here. So we'll call get user media. So the const media stream is navigator dot media devices dot get user media, and for constraints we'll do video true, voice audio true. Okay. We do const constraints, or actually I'll just leave it like this for now. What's going on over here? It's peer.id. There we go. And this is an async function, so we have to await it. Or yeah, there we go. And once we do that, then the other user should be able to receive the call. Okay. And I'll show you where we will listen to that event. Okay. Let me see. Don't remember asking you, just wondering how much it would cost. Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, I can't really tell you what the cost would be unless you give me more details. So if you want, you can send me a direct message, and you can send me a direct message with all of the things that you want, and I'll take care of it for you. So if you need my Discord, just go. I don't know if you're in my Discord. If you are in my Discord, you can just send me a DM, and just tell me your name so that way I know who you are. But yeah, I'll take care of it for you. Don't worry. Just send me a DM and I'll look into it for you. Where's the keyboard camera? I can't use it right now because I'm using it to test the video chat feature. Any tips for creating your first resume as a freshman with no experience in CS? I mean, do you have any experience from high school? Positive pub GM, how are you? Yeah, James, just send me a DM. If you just look at my Discord and if you just look at the first person all the way on the top, you'll literally see my name. I have the Anson role. You'll see my name on my Discord. Just send me a DM and I'll accept the message request. But do you have any experience from high school? Any work experience? Any relative experience from high school? Have you messed around with Kubernetes before, Anson? I have not. At least not yet. I have not yet. Okay, so what we do now is this. Okay. What we need to do is we need to listen to this peer on call. And what we need to do is this. When we accept the call, we need to navigate the user to this page. And we also need to make sure we are setting this call in a store. So for the other user, we need to make sure we are applying the call to the Redux store as well. Because it goes both ways, right? It's not just one person. So we probably will need the actual call instance as well for both users. So this is of type media connection. So do call media connection. And that comes from Purejs. Okay. And of course, when we accept the call, we will go ahead and call set call. And then we'll navigate the user to this page. So, so that way they're both on the conversation page, because that's where we'll render both things out. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think this should be fine. Let me just check what we have over here. So what we wrote the other day was we wrote, we called the user, okay, and then we set connect to call, good, and then we did call on stream, so we listened to an event, okay. Let me see. Now that I think about it, I probably don't think I want to set the connection locally. I probably want to set it globally instead. My only concern is that hopefully everything will be updated synchronously. I'm taking the Harvard CS50. I took an Intro to Python course, and now I'm taking another Intro to Comp Sci as a college class. Here's what I would recommend you to do. Here's what I would suggest, because I will say this, and I'm not trying to say this to be, you know, here's what I'll say, because I want to be realistic with you, right? It is really difficult unless you are, let's say, coming from, I mean, I don't know what your background is, right? But I'm assuming that you're new because you are taking CS50 and you're also learning coding. So I'm assuming that, let me ask this, are you new to the field? Like, do you have any programming experience? Or are you just learning currently? Let me ask you, I don't want to assume, I'll ask you that first. Let me see. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll call the user, and then we'll need to, of course, listen to these. The reason why I'm not just doing call.on is because we're listening to events, and we want to make sure that when the call is finished, we're removing the event listener. Okay, so you're new, right? Okay, so you're new. So what I would say is, like, if you're absolutely new and you aren't going to an Ivy League school, or you're not going to some top CS school, it is really difficult to get an internship as a freshman. And I'm saying that from personal experience. I'm saying that from other people's experiences as well, because I was a CS student myself, and a lot of my friends it was really difficult for them to get internships as a freshman. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't try, right? But the reason why it's difficult is because it's a very competitive field. There's a lot of freshmen who already, they've done robotics, they've done projects before, they've had an early start, so they have a higher chance of getting an internship compared to other people. So here's the thing though, right? What you could do to fix that situation is this. What you could do is, as you're learning, and as you're learning, right, what you should do is you should build projects on the side. Build as many projects as you can, and don't just build like a random to-do list. Build something that is actually meaningful, right? That will make you stand out compared to all the other freshmen, because you're not going to be the only freshman that's going to be applying to these internships, right? Build out meaningful projects, because, like I said, it's a very competitive field, especially when you're just a freshman, right? Do that. Build up your resume by increasing your projects. Build up more projects. Add them to your GitHub. Add your GitHub link to your projects, or add your GitHub link to your resume. On your resume, highlight the projects that you're working on, okay? And then just mass apply. I'm not saying that it's impossible to get an internship, but I also have to be realistic as well, right? Because you are also competing with a bunch of other people, and I think that me saying that should also give you more fuel and more of an incentive to push yourself even further, right? So I would say do that. But of course, if you don't get it, but here's the thing though, if you don't get an internship, don't worry so much about that, because I'll be honest with you, right? I didn't get my internship until I was like a senior in college, and I turned out just fine. I had a lot of friends who didn't get internships, and they ended up getting six figures, right? So I would not stress out over it if I were you. And here's what I would say. I would actually argue that self-learning and teaching yourself how to do all of these things, and just building projects for fun on your own and learning things on your own, is actually, in my opinion, I think that's way more better experience, in my opinion, because like when you're working when you're working in this internship, right? When you're working for an intern, right? As an intern, you're really going to be fixated of doing something you're going to be fixated of doing things the way that they are doing it, right? But when you are learning yourself, you give yourself a peace of mind on how to do certain things, how to figure things out, how to branch out. If you're stuck in that industry mindset, because I can tell you this right now, there's a lot of people who are in the industry who only know how to do things at the industry. Like, how do I say this? Like, for example, when you're working in the industry, right? Really, realistically, if you're working for a company that's already been established already, if you're working on products that have already been built, realistically, all you're really going to be doing is just copying and pasting the existing code base, repeating it, changing some lines, and pushing it to their Git server, right? I can speak from experience, because literally when I was working on my tickets, right, a lot of times they'll give junior devs like stuff that is easy for junior devs to do. They won't give you some brand new product to work on. That's a risk for them. Right? They'll give you some re-existing thing to do, and they'll basically, you know what, just change this up, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? So you'll basically be like changing up some code, pushing your stuff to Git, and then calling it a day. And and doing that, you're not really learning anything new. You're really just learning how to code you're really just learning how to code with respect to the company's guidelines, right? But you're not really expanding anything outside, because there's a lot more stuff that you can learn being self-taught and learning on your own, right? But it's not to say that companies won't push their employees to learn more stuff. I'm just saying that, like, if you're working for a company, you probably won't learn how to set up authentication from scratch. You probably won't learn how to connect to a database from scratch because they won't let you do that, right? They'll require you to use the ORM that they're using, right? And all that stuff is hidden because they're obviously not going to give you the database passwords, right? You're not going to learn how to set up, sessions, cookies, how to set up, all those, unless you actually push yourself outside of work to do those things. So that's what I'm saying. If you actually learn how to do these things outside of work and outside of things, that will literally push you to a senior level a lot faster than a lot of people. I self-taught myself all day knowledge about programming. I like seeing the title slowly grow as you add more things. Yeah, I know. We're adding more and more things every single day. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys drop that like button. We are going for 500 likes for the entire stream. I'm going to be streaming for we're going to be streaming for a very long time tonight. So make sure, if you guys haven't already, hit that like button. It would really help us out with the live stream as well as attract more viewers. But yeah, each day we're adding more stuff. So every single time I add something new, I add additional thing I add a new technology to the title. Would you recommend me getting a job at 15? Listen, I would tell you this. Here's what I'll tell you, right? It doesn't, listen, just apply to the job. It doesn't matter if you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It doesn't matter if you're 25. It doesn't matter if you're 30. Apply to the job and see what happens. I will say this, though. There are some employers who are not going to obviously hire people who are under 18 for obvious legal reasons, right? It also depends on the country you live in, too. Like in the United States, it's very hard to get a job as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old because they want to only hire people who are 18 plus for legality reasons. Have I sent you the message? All right, I'll take a look at it later. Don't worry, I'll take a look at it. Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay, I will take a look at the message later, and I'll get back to you with a quote. Hey man, I'm new at programming. Where to start with React? I actually have a React course. Definitely check out that course real quick. Definitely check that out. I think it would be really great for you. Definitely check out that React course. It's 2 hours long, but it goes in depth with a lot of stuff. I have a new Redux course coming out this week, so look forward to that. Okay, so let me just close out everything else, and let me just go back to my coding. All right, so what we'll do is this. Because we're going to need to also set the call for the other user as well, which will be very easy. Because the other user is going to... Well, here's the other challenge though, right? How would we know when to receive... Okay, you know what I think we will do? I think what we'll do is this. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just create the peer at the top level like this. So, this is what we're going to do is user.peer.id. I'll do dispatch set peer. We'll do this instead. Okay. And so that way we don't have to worry about creating it over here. If peer, then we'll do this. Okay. Peer.connect. Okay. And we'll also set the call as well. Which is of type media connection. What is your GitHub? https github.com/. I'll send it to you right now. I think I have a git command, GitHub. I think I have a GitHub command. Yeah, the interview was a bit unsure about me being 15, but I believe he searched it up and he was okay with me being 16 interview. Okay, then, like I said, you never know until you apply. You'll never know until you apply. You are dedicated, man. Thank you, Galactic. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. And what I'll do is this. I really hope this use effect works. I really hope it does, honestly. Okay, yeah, so the reason why it's undefined is it's undefined, so it seems like there was an error with the connection. No one, maybe that's probably the reason why I did not. I think what we should do is set connection, pure connection. Yeah, I think maybe I should do this. Why would it have trouble connecting to the peer? That's really interesting. Hey, I was just wondering, do you work your job in the daytime and work on your projects at night? Yes. What's going on, Woozy? How are you? I applied to around like 30 jobs and only a couple got back to me that weren't denying me. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so it's saying ID is taken. Do I still have my app in? Let me check. Oh yeah, of course I knew this shit was gonna happen. I'm just gonna get rid of strict mode real quick. There we go. All right, now it should work just fine. There we go. Connection is defined. All right, perfect, perfect. Like I said, I knew this was gonna happen. You can see that inside connection use effect. Okay, so you can see that the component re-rendered. We are inside the use effect. We're inside the callback of that use effect right over here. And you can see that if connection is defined. Perfect. All right. And now inside network, if I go over here, I should see all the ICE candidates right over here. Okay. And it's heart beating, which is good. So now the other user just needs to accept the call. So what we got to do is we got to go ahead and listen to the event. And we got to do that at the global level because obviously the user should be able to see the call from wherever. Right, so we're going to call the user, and then we're going to go ahead and do call on stream. And this is going to give us the remote stream of the user's call. But we're not going to do it inside here, though. We'll probably do it inside the other things, but the other use effect. But what I'll do is let me go inside here, and let me see if I can actually listen to the events. Because the other events were not being logged over here, so I wonder if it's not setting it correctly. But let's try again. Let's go into console, and let's see. Okay, so it seems like none of those things log, so I think we are okay. I think we can just get away with doing this, okay? But we'll definitely go ahead and do call on stream. So same that we're doing right over here, call on stream, but we'll do that in a different use effect, so that way we can avoid any memory leaks and stuff. I think once I get some proper job experience, I'll be able to get a lot more jobs, but the main problem is I dropped out of school. Use the settings command to my VS Code settings. You said you were from where again? Australia, right? Or New Zealand? New Zealand, right? Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fine, honestly. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll also, I mean, I wonder if I should set the connection in the Redux store, and then whenever that is updated, we'll re-render it. I think that might be better, honestly. So let me go into store. And the data type for this is data connection. And we'll do set connection. And we'll create one. Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll also create one to just call the entire. Give me 1 second. Because we need to set the connection, we need to set the call, and we also need to. Yeah, I think that's fine, honestly. So let me do this. Instead of doing this, let me do this. So we'll do setting connection, dispatch, set connection. And what I want to do is, yeah, so whenever peer or connection changes, we'll re-render, and the same thing with call as well. Or maybe call will be different, and so will peer. But we'll also get the call right over there, and we'll do new call peer call, and we'll do dispatch set call new call like that. Okay, and then whenever something changes with the call, we will re-render. So whenever peer or not peer call, yep, right there. So inside call use effect. So do call on stream, and then this will be a remote stream, and then this is basically where we can do this. So we can listen to the stream event. We can set the remote stream, which will put that in the store, and then we can just set the play as well. So before we do anything else, let me just do this. Receive remote stream. And then when the component unmounts, we'll do called off stream. Okay. I'm trying to get a job that's remote, which does cut out quite a few potential jobs. I gotcha. Well, I mean, I would say this, like, for your first job, don't only filter it out only to remote jobs, because, you know, getting a job is better than getting no job, you know. So even if there's a job, even if there's a really good job that is, you know, that is not remote, that requires you to go into the office, that's really good for your experience, and I would still take it, you know. Do you think that it's worth me trying to apply to internships that require no experience just to have something and maybe gain some type of experience? If you can find one, you can certainly do that. Yeah, if you can find one, then sure, why not? It's worth a try, right? You don't know, like, sometimes you never know, right? So what I'm saying is, like, definitely seek those opportunities if there are available. How do you store messages? Do you store messages inside a conversation document or inside a user document? I store messages in its own table, and the conversation table maps to the messages table. And there's basically a one-to-many relationship between the conversation and the message itself. Okay, all right, so now what we need to do is we need to listen to the peer event. So let's do this. So let's or the call event. So let's do this. All right, so let's see what happens. So if I refresh, inside peer, use the cook. Okay, there we go. Perfect. The peer has been created. All right, so we should be able to listen to. We should be able to listen to the event now. So let's log in as Riley Jones, and now it's just a random name, just for testing purposes. Yo, Khalil, I don't know if you're still there, Khalil. Sorry, I didn't see your message, man. Cause I was only like looking at YouTube messages. But yo, Khalil, if you're there, man, yo, what's going on, man? How are you? Sorry, I just saw your message. Hopefully, you're still there. If not, maybe we'll catch you later. Let's see, Riley, password. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see what happens. So let's open up the logs real quick, and let's see what happens when I call this user. So let me go and do this. Let's try this real quick. Okay, there we go. You can see that it says receiving call. Perfect. All right, there we go. You can see that it says receiving call. That is good. That is good. We are receiving the call. Okay, so what should happen when we receive the call? Well, when we receive the call, we should probably say is call is calling. Well, here's the thing, right? When we are receiving a call, we probably should display some kind of pop-up to the user. Is receiving call. Okay, so Boolean, we'll set it to a Boolean, and by default this will be false, right? And this is really geared towards for the user who is receiving the call. LO, no worries, bro, no worries at all. I'm doing my thing while I got you on. So you discriminate Twitch users? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like, I actually have my chat on multi-stream, so I can see all Twitch and YouTube. But I guess for some reason I must have just missed your message. But there's not a lot of Twitch messages, so that's why I probably missed it because it was just hard to notice. Yo, what's going on, Display? How are you? Anson, I'm working on LinkedIn clone, but the tutorial doesn't do any of the functionality, only like auth and post. I'm trying to expand onto it if I can so I can apply my knowledge. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, I think, you know, building clones could give you some good insight of how projects are, you know, how some social media apps can be built. So, you know, as long as you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing, you know? As long as you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing. But, all right, so let's see. What we want to do is when we receive the call, we want to go ahead and set the state. So set is receiving call. Or Fox, thank you for following my Twitch, man. I appreciate that. By the way, if you guys haven't already, man, make sure you guys drop that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to be streaming for a very long time today. We're going for 500 likes by the end of the stream, guys. Let's go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. I was going to make a Twitter clone a while ago, but I gave up on it. Currently learning Redux with this crash course, so it should be fun. Yeah, I have a Redux course coming out soon. It'll be out before next week. I won't be streaming for all of not next week. I won't be streaming from next Friday or next Thursday, I should say. Next Thursday until October 3rd, because I'm going to be away from home. But when I come back, though, we'll probably work on the money transfer app. It depends on how we finish things off over here. But it depends on how we finish things off here. If we finish things off here, then we can just work on the money transfer app. If we don't finish it off, then, you know, we'll have to obviously, you know, finish it off before we call it quits. We're not calling it quits, but we're not abandoning this project, guys. We're still gonna be working on this project. We're just gonna be building more projects that will connect to this project later on to make it a huge platform. I'm currently making a programming language. Nice. Yeah, make sure you guys go on my Twitter as well. I posted a tweet about this, and I also posted it on my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't had the chance to take a look at that, definitely check that out. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys also follow me on Twitter as well. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Are you going to use Stripe? Yes, I'm going to be using Stripe. Set is receiving call. All right, so what we should do is set. Let's see. Do I really even need to do this? Okay, media connection dot answer. Okay, I think what we need to do is we need to also get the user's media connection as well. Yeah, I think, let me see. You know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna get confused, so I'm just gonna call this. I'm just gonna call this variable call because it is really of. It's a media connection. Yeah, right over here. Call. Okay, so what we'll do is this. So when we are receiving a call, we'll go ahead and dispatch set call to call. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to do call.answer. But we need to obviously make sure we can reference this call from wherever we want. Okay. What's going on here? Let's go up here. Let's do call. Okay, so set call incoming call. Okay, let's see. Probably don't want to re-render this component though. So we'll set call, and what we should do when we are receiving that call. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I might want to re-render this actually, because otherwise it'll be undefined. All right, so now set is receiving call. We're going to create a global overlay that will display everywhere. Well, it won't be an overlay. It'll just be a like call notification. It'll just be this right over here. It'll just be this right over here. Okay. And now the question is, how do we actually know when the user is calling us? That's the question. So what we'll do is we'll say set is receiving call true, and let's see, how do we get the actual user that is calling us? That is the I think maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll listen to a WebSocket event. Yeah, I think maybe we may need to join this with a WebSocket event. Thoughts on Fira code font? I don't really have any thoughts on that font. Are you making Discord v2? No. Let me see. We need to make sure we get other information about the call itself. So I think maybe I might listen to a WebSocket event, and what I'll do is inside the WebSocket event, we'll listen to peer on. Actually, no, that wouldn't be a good idea, actually. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea, because if we did that, then it would create another listener every single time, which is not good. So we need to find a way to and there's no way that I could pass this object through, because I feel like if I don't think I would be able to pass in this object through our API. Yeah, that wouldn't be, that would ruin the whole purpose of peer-to-peer. Did you already add stream elements or another bot? I actually haven't had a chance yet because I've just been so busy the past couple of days. But I'll probably get to it when I get a chance. What is that app? The representation of app or something where groups are rectangles? It's called Figma. Dispatch. So what we want to do is when we are receiving a call, we want to. Damn, how would I get the conversation or the user that's calling them? That's the other concern, though. Because if I listen to a WebSocket event, I won't be able to. There's no way that I can get the incoming call. At least I don't think so. Unless there's a way to kind of like add data. That's going to be really. Let's see. Let me see something real quick. I should be able. Let me try something. I should be able to get some kind of data somehow. Okay. Maybe what I could do is this. Let me see. There has to be a way where we can get the data somehow. Because if I send the socket event, because the thing is, if I send this to the WebSocket server, I don't think that'd be a good idea to send it to the WebSocket server, though. I don't think that'd be a good idea. All right, well, let's worry about that later. Let's worry about that later. Because if I'm calling the user, only I will know who the user is. If I accept a call, how will I know who the user is that called me? How would we know where to redirect to? So that's why I need to find a way to... I mean, maybe what I could do is... Yeah, this is actually really important to figure out. Media stream, events, ID. Sockets, painful. That's really interesting. All right, let me try something real quick. Let's try this. Okay, now another issue is that, okay, we're receiving the call, this connections doesn't really solve anything. So let me show you something real quick. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Sorry, I don't know why my thing went black. There we go. All right, so let's go over here and let's go into. Let me log in as someone else. Just into my link. You should send the call information through WebSocket, and when received by the receiver, you can initiate the call between them. Yeah, I guess that's possible. So you can send the socket event to the. You can send the socket event. When the user accepts, then you can initiate that call. So I could send the data to the socket server. When that event is received, you can display a pop-up notification. Then what happens is that pop-up notification can display the user. It can say, oh, it's like that person wants to call you. When you accept, we can go ahead and fire an event, or we can send an event back to the socket server. That socket server could fire an event that is received by both users. When it's received by both users, though, you would need to call pure.connect. But the only problem is that, well, when you call pure.connect, right, one person would need to automatically accept the call, which I guess would be the person who initiate the call. I guess that could work. Yeah, I guess that could work. Because, well, what I can do is I can just basically set initiator field on the back end. And I can say, oh yeah, this person was the person who initiated. And then we can check on the front end. If I was the initiator, then I will call pure.call. And then we can just do, when we listen to the pure on call event, we can, I guess we just automatically accept. Yeah, I guess that could work. That's a good idea. Aladi Pupo. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. All right, so let's see. Let's go over here. Let's see. We want to listen to events. Let's do. And so we'll do async on handle video call. So this socket event will need, let's see. What's going on, Amelia? How are you? Welcome back, man. How are you? What are you doing today? We're doing a video call right now. Right now we're working on video call right now. Right now we're working on video call, guys. All right, so we need to figure out who is the initiator, and we can very easily get that from connected socket like this. Okay, so the message data, let's type annotate this real quick. Let's see. So what I'll do is we'll have a type for so we'll need the recipient ID. What else do we need? I think we'll also need the conversation ID as well, so we know where to redirect the user. I think we might need this. I'm not too sure. Are you making this an actual social app that will be a website example like Facebook? I mean, it's a chat app, so I guess, yeah, sure, why not? What theme is this? It's called AU. Okay, so we'll need the recipient ID. We can very easily get the initiator. Like that. I'll just name it caller. Okay. And I think what we'll do is this. We'll do this. Const receiver socket equals data. Let's do this dot sessions dot get user socket, and then we'll do data dot converse recipient ID, and we'll do if there's no receiver socket, we'll emit to the caller socket. So we'll do socket dot emit on call user. and we'll just say, and we'll just emit this event. So that way it'll auto reject it. So that way, you know, we'll tell them, hey, yeah, you cannot call this user right now. Okay. If there is a receiver, if the receiver is online, we'll emit an event on video call. And we need to make sure we pass in the conversation ID, as well as the caller itself. So I'll pass in, let's see, for data, I'll pass in, let's see. And we'll pass in the caller. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll emit this event. Okay, yeah, so on the front end, we'll subscribe to this event, but we need to check to see who the caller is, right? But here's the thing, how do we, so every single user is going to subscribe to this event, but we should only display if the caller is not ourselves, I think. Actually, no. Wait. We need the recipient ID, and we need, wait, my bad. Create call deal. We need everything. We need the caller, the recipient ID, and the conversation ID. Okay? So what we'll do now is we'll listen to socket.on video call. And we only want to do something. Well, here's another problem though. Oh, actually, wait, what am I doing? Wait, I'm trolling so hard. Sorry. Yeah, okay, actually, you know what? Now that I think about this, actually, you know, wait a minute. No, we're fine because we have the receiver socket, so it's not like they're gonna receive every single event. Yeah, we're fine. So we'll still listen to it though. It's fine. We'll also send all the data. Yeah, we're fine, guys. We're fine. All right. Let's see. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and try initiating a call, but we also need to make sure we emit this video call event. So what I'll do is on not here, message panel header, yeah, right over here. Okay, so what we'll do instead is we'll go ahead and do this. Let's get the socket instance first. So const socket equals use context, socket context. And what we'll do is this. Handle video call, we'll do socket emit on video call. You know what? I'm gonna call it this initiate on video call initiate, and we'll emit emits on video call. So we'll do we'll go over here. We'll emit this on video call event or on video call initiate event, and then we'll pass in. We need the conversation ID. That should be very easy to grab. We need the recipient. And we also need the... Yeah, I think that's all we need for now. Okay. So let's go ahead and go into our backend. And let's just console log on video call initiate. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and send this event. Yo, WCNRNY, thank you so much for joining as member, man. I really appreciate that, man. I don't know if you want me to refer to you as that, but if you have a name that you'd like me to refer to, I'd be more than happy to. But yeah, thanks for joining as a member, man. I really appreciate that. Make sure you are also in the Discord server if you have not joined already. And yeah, like make sure you join the Discord server. as well. But yeah, thank you again, man, for joining us, member. I really appreciate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to emit this event, and the backend is going to receive it, and then the backend should emit the event to the user, to the receiver. Okay. So let's try this out and see what happens. So on the left hand side, we are the initiator. On the right hand side, we are the receiver. So if I click this, let's see what happens. You can see that. Let's refresh again. All right, let's see. Well, the socket is actually, well, the socket on the logs, I can see that it says on video call initiate, but for some reason it is not. It is not on video call. Socket on video call. Okay, it's not logging receiving video call though. Maybe do I have, oh, I think maybe it's because of this. Let me move this up over here. Yeah, I completely forgot that I have other events being listened to. Try again. Oh wait, I also didn't realize that I'm logged in as a different user here. So that's not good. Wait, what's going on over here? I don't even know who I'm logged in as right now. Wait, who am I even logged in as? Okay, I'm logged in as Riley. Oh yeah, I think I'm Michael over here. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go. So let's click call. Okay, there we go. We can receive this. You can see that we're receiving this right now. Okay. Caller, peer ID, conversation, perfect. All right. And what we'll do is when we receive this call, I guess what we could do is we can check to see if we're currently receiving a call or not. So, because obviously other people could call. We'll also set a timer too. So after 60 seconds, if nothing has happened, we'll clear the timeout. So that way, it will, close it off. You're doing pretty good, man. Thank you. I'm already in Discord server. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Let me go ahead and sync the server real quick so that way you get the role if you haven't already. 46. All right, there you go. You should see the role right now. Should have gotten the role. Let me also fix something real quick. There we go. All right. Busy today? I mean, we're always busy. We're always busy. We always got some stuff to do. So if I'm not reading the chats because I'm just like focusing real hard right now. But don't worry. But how's it going, Gravity? Hope all is well. Bro, I'm on the toilet right now. What's good, my programmers? Yo, dude, I'm working so hard daily on my Roblox game that I was saying, and everything is going good. I'm learning to program it in Lua, and I'm having so much fun doing it. Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad, man. All right, let's see. So, okay. So when we are receiving a call, we want to make sure that we don't have a call in progress. Actually, well, if someone else is calling us, we should also receive that call as well. Well, what happens on Discord if two people try to call you at the same time? Like, I wonder what happens. Like, does both calls show up? I've always wondered that because I've never actually had that happen to me before. Does anyone know? Thank you. I appreciate. Hope you've been having a good one. I haven't missed out. I've been very busy. Oh yeah, I know. You're still in training, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I've never had that happen to me before, honestly. I've never had that happen to me before. So I'm wondering what happens with the calls, because how do they decide which call is... How do they decide, like, which call, like, should be displayed first, you know? That's what I've always wondered. Like, if you have people mass calling, you know, how does that work? Interesting. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll worry about that later. Is receiving call. I guess we shouldn't let other people call. I guess, let me see. Let's see. Okay, so on video call will do if is receiving call. If we're receiving a call, we won't do anything. Otherwise, we'll do dispatch set is receiving call to true. Okay, and then that will basically show the indicator. And when the user accepts, we'll emit an event, and we'll basically emit an event for the user to start the peer-to-peer connection. So what will happen is we'll listen to this event socket on video call accept. We'll listen to this event on video call accept, and what will happen here is we'll then have we'll have to check to see if we are the initiator. If we are the initiator, then we'll do the connection. We'll do the and then I think on the other end, So if we are the initiator, then we should go ahead and do this. Okay, let's just take it step by step. Let's just take it step by step. Let's take it one by one. So if so on video call receive, we want to dispatch this. Okay. So we now need to create that component that shows them when they are receiving a call. And then what we should do is we should also dispatch an action that tells us who is that is calling us. So let's go back to gateway.ts. So we're emitting on video caller, so that's the user. So let's go into store call slice. We have this let's see, recipient. We'll have a caller. Okay. And then we'll create one called set caller, state action, payload action, state.caller equals action payload. Okay, so this set caller. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do dispatch set caller, and we'll need to pass in caller. Oops. And don't worry, we'll type annotate this real quick. Let's create a type. We'll need the recipient ID, conversation ID, and the caller. Okay, so we'll set caller, and so let's go ahead and create that component. It's not going to be a modal, but we'll just do this. So this will just be a component that will be it'll have a style of position absolute, and we'll display in the center. So we'll do index.ts. Let's go over here. It shows both users that are calling you, and you can accept one decline. Oh, I didn't know that. So this will be top 0, left 0. And I think, if I remember correctly, wait. I want this to be in the center. I remember, let me see, center, position, absolute. Something like top 50. Let me see, I forgot how to do that. It's been a while. I think transform, translate 50%, 50%. And I got that off Stack Overflow. So we'll do height. We'll do 300 pixels, width, maybe 250 pixels. Not really too sure. Do I have my Figma open? Let's see. This is the width of this is 350. Height is 457. So we'll do height 450, width 325. Okay. Background color will be 18, 18, 18. Or maybe we can do something a little bit better. Maybe let's do 1F, 1F, 1F. Okay, color FF. All right. I think for this, I'll probably have a display of flex and flex direction column, and the gap will probably be 20 pixels or 25 pixels. So 1, 2, 3. And maybe justified content will be space between. So that way they're spaced out well. Or maybe we don't even need space between, to be honest, because we're using gap anyways. Alright, so let's go ahead and do call dialog. And we want to render this globally to the user. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and get the caller from the state. So let's do state call. And of course this could be undefined, so I probably will only want to render the caller under 2 conditions. Under caller and is receiving call. Okay, but we're not going to render it, we're not going to do the conditional render here though. So what we can do is we can make an assumption that caller is going to be defined, because the only way that we'll render this component is if caller is defined, and we'll render this probably inside app page, I believe. This will render it literally everywhere we go, I guess. I'm not too sure, but we'll try it out. So let's try this out. So we'll need the user avatar. So we'll do user avatar, user caller. Okay, so that'll render out the avatar. What's going on over here? And I guess I know that this is going to be defined, okay, because we're conditionally rendering it in the app components, okay? So we'll need a text, the person that's calling, the person wants to call you, so we'll do div span caller username wants to call you, and then we'll need the accept and reject buttons. So I don't know what icons these were. I think these were Fluent icons, but I don't know if React icons has that, so we'll have to look for some icons. Where's my app? Let's go over here. Accept. Let's see. Are style components better than Tailwind? I wouldn't say better, but they do the job differently. So let's do IO. Let me see, IO call. I want a pickup and reject. But I don't understand why like these component libraries don't have the hang up one though. Like, why don't they have hang up? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you have one, wouldn't you want the other one? Because when would someone ever build an app where there's only a call icon, but there's no hang up icon, you know. Of course, unless if you're just building an app that just like forwards the protocol to something else, but that's a different story. That's so dumb. I guess we just got to use two different icons. I guess two different icons from different libraries, which is fine. MD call. Is there MD call? Yeah, I guess we'll use MD call and MD call n. So we'll do import from React icons MD call n. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll do MD call n. And we'll set the size of this to be maybe 30. And we'll do this size 30. And I'll do class name. I'll set this to icons. And what I'll do is I'll put each icon in its own div. And we'll do class name call. Or I should say accept. Reject. Okay. And from here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go inside the style component, and I'll go ahead and style up everything. So what we'll do is we'll reference the icons class, and I'll set this to a display of flex, justify content center, gap maybe 10 pixels, and then I'm gonna get the accept. And what we'll do is this. We'll do. Also, I don't want to repeat any CSS. So I'll do background of type color 15, 15, 15. So background color. That height. Let's do 50 pixels. Width 50 pixels. Border radius 50%. Probably don't even need height and width because we'll let the icons define that. And now for accept, we'll do color, and it's going to be whatever this color is. And then for reject, we'll just make that a red color, which is FF0000. What's going on, Just Frenzy? How are you? Let me see. Yeah, I forgot to do that. And so what I'll do now is, let me see. So let's go over here. And now what I want to do is, actually, you know what? I'm going to remove this. And let me go over here. I'll change this to maybe 30. I'll change the font size instead. And so now we'll go ahead and render the dialog. I'll probably do that maybe right over here. And let's go over here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, it's going to throw an error right now, so don't worry. So what we'll do is inside here is we'll do this set. Wait, I also got to do one more thing. Dispatch set caller. Let's see. Wait, this is the wrong one. Whoops. Let's see. Set caller, set is receiving call, and then yeah, that should be fine. So yeah, that's fine. So we'll go over here. We'll do is receiving call, and caller is defined, which I don't think we have. Yeah, we do have it there. Okay, yep, that's fine. Okay, and so we'll do caller. I'm fine. I started learning React about a week ago and it looks so cool. Nice. Okay, so let's go over to here, and I'm gonna go ahead and call. Let's see. There we go. All right, so let's try calling now. Okay, so it's being displayed, but for some reason it's showing over there, and we also need to set. I forgot to set the z index. Let's just do that real quick. So let's do. Not sure why that was displaying it over there though. That was really weird. Z index. That's weird. Okay, well at least it's not. Okay, oh, it's over there. But let me see. Left 0 top 0 transform translate 50/50 minus 50 minus 50. That's really weird. Why would that, let's see. Top, bottom, margin 0. How can I censor an absolute percent element in a div? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, let me fix some stuff real quick. So let me change the border radius to maybe 25 pixels. Let's see, I gotta refresh that, I guess. Let's try this again. That's weird. Why is that? Let me see. Let's go ahead and change the border. I don't know why it's rendering like that though. That's really strange. Could it be because I do not have a? Oh yeah, I need a height and width. Yeah, let's do. Maybe let's do 75 pixels with 75 pixels. Okay, no, that's just way too big. Yep, let's do 50/50. Yeah, that's not too bad. And border radius 50% should honestly work fine. And we'll set this to display flex, align items, center, and then this justify content, center. There we go. So now we have that. Of course, the user doesn't have a profile picture. We also need to make sure we center everything. We need to align the items. So what I'll do is, let's see. I think we already have justify content, or maybe we did not do that. But let's do align item center. Okay, and then we'll do justify content center. And now what we'll do is, let me also just try one more thing. I want to make sure that the text wraps, so it doesn't go over there. So I think what I'll do is maybe inside here we'll do content, and we'll go over here. I think there was a let's see, let me see. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's okay. And now we just need to set some border radius for the actual dialogue. So something like maybe 10 pixels would be fine. Let's see. And let's see. I'll probably set the gap to a little bit bigger. So we'll do 30 pixels. Maybe, let's see, justify content. Actually, you know what? Let me do space between. And I'm going to get rid of the height. And what I'll do is this. I'm going to set the gap maybe a little bit smaller. And I'll just set some padding on the top and bottom. So we'll do maybe 32. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. Let's see. Probably will want to set the avatar to a little bit bigger, but it's fine. So cool. So of course now we just have to make the icons hoverable. So we'll do cursor pointer. And so now I can hover over this. And let's see. I think it should be fine. Okay. So now let's refresh. So if I go ahead and click call, it's going to say Michael wants to call you, blah, blah, blah. And of course, we're going to either accept or reject. Cool. And now what we'll do is we'll add the functionality to accept and reject. So const handle call. And I'll create a constant, or not constant, but I'll do export type handle call type equals accept or reject. I'll type annotate this type as that, and we'll use a switch case. So switch type case accept. We'll return something case reject. Return something, and we'll go ahead and call this function over here. So on click, we'll go ahead and do handle call accept, and on click we'll go ahead and do reject. Okay, so when we accept the call, we basically need to go ahead and do a couple things. One, we need to actually emit a socket event to let the other user know that the call was accepted. So let's see. Yeah, so we received this on video call event. Okay, and that's not really going to do anything except for display the video call to the user. Then what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this on video call accept. Okay, and we need to check the front end to see who was the initiator, and whoever the initiator was will initiate that peer connection, and then it will automatically call peer.accept. So watch this. So we'll do on video call accept. Okay, we're going to need to emit a socket event, and once we do that, we will let on video call accept event take care of navigating the user to the correct conversation channel. Okay, and yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine. So we'll do case accept. Let's see. Let's do this. We'll do, let's get the socket. Use context. Socket context. So we'll get the socket context. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do socket.emit. And we'll do video call accepted. And we'll obviously need the data. So we can very easily grab that. So we can very easily grab the caller. I think we might also need other stuff too. I'm trying to think. Do we really need the conversation ID? Because we could very easily grab the conversation ID from the back end very easily. So we probably don't even need that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think we probably won't even need the conversation ID, to be honest with you. I think all we really need is just the recipient and the I think maybe we'll just need the recipient as well as the initiator. Yeah, so the caller as well as the receiver. I think those are the only two things that we'll need. So we can very easily grab the caller, and we can. So the caller is obviously not going to be us. Okay, so the caller will be whoever called us. Okay, we'll need the receiver, which is just going to be ourselves, or the acceptor is what we should say. So that's just going to be user. So that's going to be whoever is logged in. Okay,